Injured in an accident? You may be entitled to a bigger settlement, up to 3.5 times bigger. Your initial consultation is 100% free, and we don't get paid unless we win your case. No matter the accident, we are here to help. The advocates will fight for you because you deserve clarity, you deserve justice, you deserve guidance, you deserve an advocate. Contact us today.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, The Monty Show live on February 3rd. Bro, it is February 3rd already on The Monty Show. As always, presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. Just love being partnered with the good people at the Advocates. And that's one of the main things I always tell you about the Advocates is when you've been in an accident and you're asking yourself, do I need an attorney? Man, that's a tough place to be in. I think everybody can empathize with that, especially the advocates, because they get that question every single day. They know how you feel. They understand empathy. They understand compassion. They know what you're going through because they fought your fight so many times. And more importantly, they've won that fight. You got to go with the advocates for clear, risk-free advice. And you never reach into your pocket to pay the advocates because you do not pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. So what do you have to lose? Absolutely nothing. Talk to an injury attorney 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. Good Tuesday morning to you. Inexplicably, it is already February. I cannot believe it. We are just now 5 days away from the Super Bowl. The NFL draft is 79 days from today. 79 days until the NFL draft. And I'm curious, are you more excited about the NFL draft or the Super Bowl, Jake?
I think this is going to be a good Super Bowl. I think this game will be good. But inevitably we're 79 days away from someone ruining their season before they ever take a snap. So, that's always exciting.
Ruining their season before they ever take a snap.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we do. That's what we do in the draft these days. So, it's very predictable. But yeah, the draft is the draft is always fun. The first round of the draft and the hype, and
it's in it's at the ketchup bottle, isn't it? It's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, iconic site this year. So it'll be good. I think, Super Bowl week is always an interesting time. All of your favorite personalities are at the Super Bowl. They're doing shows and talking to people. And, I have to say that one of the things that, if we're talking pros and cons of Super Bowl week, I think one of the things that typically is a con of Super Bowl week.
Wait,
is
are we talking about pros and cons of Super Bowl week?
I don't know. Are we?
I don't know. You are. It's the Jakey Two Shakes Who Wears a Vest show. So you do what you need to do.
Okay. Well, anyway, I think that it's it ruins talk shows for me. I hate the shows that do like 800 intervers back to back for like.
Oh, you mean Jim Rome of people you don't care about, like talking
Jim
to Jim Rome?
Yes. I said there's a bunch of YouTubers there, and look, Rome has done it for like 20 years where he does, just too many interviews. So I'm not even surprised that he does all the interviews, but it's like, the younger guys, I'm like, dude, I get it. You're at Super Bowl and interviews are part of it, but can we not do like random, beat writer guy who there's just no point.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. So that's one of the things as a sports fan waiting for this game to go down that drives me nuts during the week.
But I also do like today is media day and we'll get some stupid questions, but we also get dude just pissing off Jake. Jake, you guys have to understand that Jake, sometimes his vest is a little too tight. And so he gets wound up a little bit. And then he starts hearing Drake May took a personal shot directly at Jake. I thought it was very interesting. For those who don't know, Drake May hates Jake because he doesn't have the swag in the vest that Jake has. Listen to Drake May take a direct shot at Jake.
What quarterback did I idolize my game after? Kind of the first thing that comes to mind, as a young middle schooler who just, fell in love with position would be Aaron Rodgers. I was a big fan of Aaron Rodgers. I've got a chance to play him a few times, and just how he's treated me. And, he reached out to me after the game, and he's, such a special flow of the football. He's got so much swag. He's just a different – it's different when you see him in warm-ups throwing the football. And just how I've heard from teammates of his and coaches of his, how he, treats others and cares about others inside the facility is just special. And I'm just a big fan of his.
Jake,
you suck.
Dude, you're a New England Patriot and you're out here throat slamming Aaron Rodgers.
Is it
Tom
upsetting?
Brady wasn't good enough for you?
But is it upsetting that you're taking strays just out of nowhere so early in the morning? I mean, that has to be
ridiculous.
upsetting for you.
Drake May should be embarrassed, dude. You're a New England Patriot and you're out here trying to model your game after Aaron Rodgers, the guy who can't figure out how to win a Super Bowl for the last decade of his career. I mean, I'm sorry. I thought we were playing the game to win the game.
Well,
That's,
I mean,
I guess I was confused.
But Aaron, don't forget, Aaron's washed. He's a terrible person.
He is.
He sucks. He's why,
Yeah.
Script writers did a great job.
Wow. Bob Kraft not elected to the Hall of Fame. Bob Kraft did not get into the Hall of Fame.
Maybe him and the hoodie can go have some coffee together,
What? Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, did not get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, according to multiple league sources. He didn't receive enough votes from the 50-person selection committee to be included in the 2026 class, which will be announced Thursday night at NFL Honors in San Francisco. Wow. The Hall of Fame's new voting requirement in 2025 inadvertently helped pit Kraft against Belichick. Kraft was one of 5 finalists amongst contributors, coaches, and senior players who last appeared in 2000 or earlier. Kraft was the contributor finalist. Belichick was the coach finalist. Wow. Belichick and Kraft are both out of the Hall of Fame. Do you think Bob Kraft will have a tougher time next year because of the Epstein list? Because I am stunned. Bob Kraft is not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there are people who obviously are out to get those two. No doubt about it.
How is that even possible?
Because it's not about football. It's not about football.
On the day of the Pro Bowl, they're not putting Bob Kraft in the Hall of Fame?
I mean, we're
playing flag football today.
How could we go on with our day without playing flag football today on a random ass Tuesday? I mean, dude, I couldn't think of a better way to spend my Tuesday evening than just sitting around the tube watching flag football in a meaningless game. I mean, come on, dude. Wow. Needless to say, this is not about football or his resume. It's people making it personal.
I am stunned by this. I am stunned that Bob Kraft is not. It is arguably the greatest dynasty in the history of the National Football League. What Bob Kraft has done to turn around the fates of the New England Patriots, and here we are with the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And neither Kraft nor Belichick is going to get in the Hall of Fame. 2 slam dunks. Like, I am shocked by this. I agree, Sean. Absolutely. That is just going to fuel the Patriots.
Unless you're an Aaron Rodgers fan. And, then from there, it's not as big a deal. So,
Shut up, Jake. Kraft, super rich guy, goes to cheap Asian massage parlor for a rub and tug. Yes, he did. And who told him to go there? I'm serious. Do you guys believe that Bob Kraft's relationship in the Trump orbit? Do you believe that is playing a role here? Certainly the Epstein list did not, because that dropped this week. Voting was done already.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
But I mean, the whole massage parlor thing was certainly a blight on the resume of Bob Kraft.
Well, and Deflategate, right? That's what everyone's going to say is the bigger thing.
And certainly there is something to that. I mean, I am stunned by this. I am really shocked that how do you leave him out?
Because people are pissed that about the way they went about
Wow.
it. Deflategate, the massage parlor, it's just I think it's the Bill Polians of the world and others, making it personal. And
Wow.
I mean, I don't disagree that the Hall of Fame is not just about your footballing career. It's also about, how you conduct yourself, how you represent the league. Like if you're just an awful, heinous criminal off the field, but you're a Hall of Fame caliber football player, you're not getting into the Hall of Fame. Like they're not going to do that. And what's hard here is that I don't feel like these guys did anything worth booting them out of the Hall of Fame. That's the problem.
I think it's ridiculous that Bob Kraft and Bill Belichick will not be in the Hall of Fame. I just am.
So then does this mean that Brady will not be in the Hall of Fame first time when he gets his turn?
That is not possible. That is not possible. That's just not possible. I can't imagine if if Tom Brady doesn't get in first ballot, there should be no Hall of Fame. I mean, I don't even know. I'm not even going to look up the numbers. I am telling you now. When is he eligible? 2020. He last played in 2023, 2028. That's the entirety of the conversation. If the 2028 Pro Football Hall of Fame class does not include Tom Brady, I will never watch the NFL again. I just can't. That's incredible. That is incredible.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Chewy Gonzalez. Chewy, good to see you. Have the Dodgers signed anybody overnight? My bidet does a cheap rub and tug. Okay. It's a hell of a bidet. This year, they will be in next year. I guess we'll find out, right? Bidax Farming. Okay. They are waiting when Brady is eligible so all three can be inducted at the same. You're going to make them wait 3 more cycles? You're going to make Bill Belichick and Bob Kraft 26, 27, and then 3. You're going to make them wait 3 more cycles. That's wild. Come on.
It's a long time.
That's you can't do that. Come on. Speaking of strays, there's a theme with Kraft and Bill Belichick. Well, you're not wrong. They're going to wait until Brady is eligible to make it a thing. You guys really believe that?
Why? Well, why would they do that? I think you're giving them too much credit. I don't think it's got anything to do with Tom and his eligibility. I think that it is, hey, you guys were, you guys were a-holes, at certain points in your career. And you cheated people through Deflategate. That's what some people are saying. And so we're going to punish you for that. And I think it's ridiculous. I think that things like that happen all the time in the NFL, right? Like make no mistake about it. Any of the best players in the NFL are going to look at every single way that they can gain an advantage without breaking the rules. And Tom Brady and the Patriots,
the reaction is not good. Oh,
and also,
man.
you got to remember too, by the way, the whole sign or communications thing with the Patriots too. People were really pissed about that. So, I think that I don't know. A lot of people want to say that Bill treated the media terribly. I don't agree that he treated the media terribly. I think that he had a certain style. And, but either way, they should all be in.
It is really interesting. Dan Pompei, who is a Hall of Fame voter, said it's a disgrace that they're both out. Ooh. Man, this is going to get ugly now. This is going to get ugly now. And I wonder, I am very curious if this changes the way that Super Bowl voting is done. Or excuse me, Pro Bowl vote. Hall of Fame voting. If this changes how Hall of Fame voting's done. Because this is wild to me.
Yes,
how many
this
people
is
are
also
upset.
The Patriots were caught videotaping opponent team walkthroughs as well. Yes, at one point.
But why does that matter? Why?
Well, because it's all part of the resume, right?
Okay, so great. Take a Super Bowl away. They're still the winningest franchise in the history of the National Football League.
Right. But it's an integrity thing on a personal level.
Stop. Since when do media members have integrity? This is what we do. This is what we do. We're going to penalize you. Congratulations. You made a complete asshole of yourself. Congratulations. Way to go. Do you feel better? You can say whatever you want about the Tom Brady, Belichick, Kraft dynasty. It's the single greatest dynasty in the history of the NFL. So you're not going to put Tom Brady in then. I mean, go ahead, make the argument that Tom Brady shouldn't be a first ballot Hall of Famer because you're bitter that the Patriots won more than your team did. Why can't we just have respect for the fact that they were a dominant operation? Why?
We're really focused on Philadelphia right now.
I will never understand this whole thing where we punish people because they're successful. I'll never understand it. This is not Barry Bonds using steroids and breaking all kinds of records. It's not what this is. You cannot tell me that you are keeping Bill Belichick and Bob Kraft out of the Hall of Fame over a 18-month period in their career. That's obscene. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, we're focused on the Jets today.
Absolutely ridiculous. If Tom Brady is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, the entire NFL can fuck off. Like I'm not here for it. Tom Brady is the single greatest player in the history of the National Football League. If he is not in on the first ballot, are we really having this conversation? We're really having this conversation that Bob Kraft and Bill Belichick are not Hall of Famers because of Deflategate, because of whatever you want to point to. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? It is absolutely obscene to me that this is what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm amazed by it. I am amazed by it. And you look at all of the things with, well, what's the first thing you said to me, Jake? Well, yeah, Jordan Hudson.
Certainly not helping him.
We really think that Jordan Hudson played a role in Bill Belichick not getting in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I do. I think it played a role. Yeah, I do. I do. Yeah, I think that people, the old heads who vote on the Hall of Fame and media members are sitting here looking at these two, and just FTR for the record, I think they should both be in, but I also am not naive to how people in this world work right now. And part of the issue that we have is that people are going to sit here and they're going to say, okay, well, this guy, is making an atrocity or an embarrassment out of UNC football right now. And his post career hasn't been great. And, he also had, a couple of those things pop up during his career. Now that's them, going out of their way to hunt down reasons why they wouldn't be eligible. I mean, because again, this isn't a numbers conversation. Like they won. Like, championship after championship. It's not
I can't
that
believe
you're
we're having
you're
this
like
conversation.
you're focused on the football side, and I'm telling you, this isn't a football conversation. That's not the point. Like the point is not that whether they won or not, or if they were like if they're legendary coaches. That's not the point. The
This is
point is,
obscene.
yeah, but if we're talking about why this is happening, this is people waiting 20 years for their opportunity to stick it to these two, and they're going to take it, even if it's a ridiculous thing. And that's what I think we're seeing happen.
Yeah, I'm stunned by it. What say you? Breaking news according to Adam Schefter at ESPN. Bob Kraft, along with Bill Belichick, are both out, not in the Hall of Fame. I am amazed by it. Yeah, I mean, we're on to Cincinnati. Bill the Nips Belichick. So now it's because he did a nude photo shoot.
Yes.
That Bill Belichick can't be in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Okay. I've never seen a man's PACs keep him out of the Hall of Fame until now. You know, they hate us because they ain't us. I think that plays a big part of it.
I guess I'm just not surprised at the pettiness level here, because that's what I feel like this is. This is really, I feel like this isn't a football conversation. This is a, hey, we waited. And let's be gentle. Hey, we waited 10 years. We waited 12 years, to stick it to these guys. One, because they won a lot. Two, because of some rule breaking shenanigans that may have happened under their reign. And three, I also think we would be foolish not to mention the fact, as you did, that Kraft is involved in a lot of nasty stuff, which again, should that factor in? I don't know, but it does. Like there's no doubt that it does. Like it has to, like who you are as a person off the field definitely matters. And I think that again, FTR, they should both be Hall of Famers. We shouldn't be having this conversation, but now that we're here, this is why you're not in. And it's ridiculous, but here we are.
They don't have the balls to pull that on Brady. Kraft and Bill aren't players, so they are sacrificial lambs. I blame
to
this.
What cause? To what cause?
I don't understand what point is being proven by keeping Bill Belichick and Bob Kraft out of the Hall of Fame.
It's the point that, hey, like you can't, cheat, as everyone wants to call it. You can't, manipulate rules, or like is the point that, hey, you guys won so much and, you have this dynasty and we're, it's almost like these guys are sitting at the Hall of Fame gates of heaven waiting to smack you over the head because they don't like you. Like I tend to agree that this does fall under the category of, hating and you're just sitting here saying like, dude, we don't like you. We don't like how you handle the media. We don't like this and that. So we're going to keep you out. And that's what I think the Hall of Fame is going to have to start dealing with, adjudicating, if you will. Like, hey, what is the criteria? Is the criteria your stat sheet and your accomplishments and your achievements and accolades? Or are we having a conversation about a combination of things, right? You've got your football resume, like, hey, Super Bowl stats, everything between the white lines. But then also we've got the off the field, massage parlor, search warrant, non-search warrant, stuff. Like that's what I'm trying to understand here, because from a football perspective, there's no denying that as an owner and as a head coach, they're two of the best to ever do it. But yeah, they have some items over the years, as do any great players do. Anybody who's great at anything is going to have things that come up. That's just it's the reality.
Yeah, I'm just reading this. The reaction to this is universal. This is going to cause change in the Hall of Fame system. You mark my words on that. I blame this on Bill's girlfriend. She said she spoke for the Patriots and they would only accept the Hall of Fame invitation, sure, I'm sure. This is fucking ridiculous that Bob Kraft and Bill Belichick are not in the Hall of Fame. This is an absolute.
With that one.
This is outrageous. This is a travesty. This is.
Do we ever get the truth as to how this happened?
This is what's wrong with sports now. This is like we want to joke and make fun of, and you're talking about people's lifelong legacies. This is all you work for. This is why you go through what Brady and Belichick and Kraft and all the consternation. And you win a bunch of rings and you perform at the highest level for over a decade. And then people are like, nah, no, sorry, can't do it. I didn't like you. I don't like that you said on to Cincinnati. I don't like that you were at a rub and tug joint. Tom Brady took some air out of the footballs. Like, what this is an absolute miscarriage of justice. And I hate the Patriots. And this goes back to the crotchety old man fucking baseball writer who won't put or do this or
it's a soccer writer in the top 25, dude.
It's ridiculous. It is absolutely a miscarriage of justice. That's all this is. That is, and again, we can keep going back to Spygate. Great. Take their Super Bowl away from that 18-month run. Okay, now go ahead and make the argument that you don't belong in the Pro Football Hall of Fame on the first ballot. Oh, that's right. You can't. You can't. You can't do it. Take their Super Bowl ring away that they won in that window, and then still make the argument that Bill Belichick is not the single greatest head coach in the history of the NHL or NFL, and that Tom Brady is not the single greatest player in the history, regardless of position, the greatest player in the history of the NFL. You can't. You can't. It's a weak-ass argument. It is a weak-ass argument, period. End of story. You want to use Deflategate and Spygate and great, cool. 18-month period, take away their Super Bowl ring. You cannot do it. You just can't. So it is just so, I'm so tired of the politics and the bullshit that have infected our society with stuff like this. This should have been the single greatest no-brainer. Oh, well, we can't we can't put them both in the same year. Well, we can't. Yeah, you can. Are they individually on their own merits worthy of a Hall of Fame? Yes, without question. Without question. It's ridiculous to me.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely ridiculous to me. And yes, the Epstein Island thing, I think, is a totally different thing. It's a totally different thing.
But as an owner, I think it's an interesting conversation, especially guys who are, the younger owner right now, younger being like 50 instead of 80, guys who are a little bit younger, who are, still working into their prime as an owner in their organization. Like this Epstein thing, if you're involved in this and 20 years from now, you happen to be in the Hall of Fame conversation, I think that's going to matter. Absolutely. Does it matter for Bob? I don't know. I don't know, man. But they should be in. They should be in. There's just, I tend to agree. Even if you look at the stuff that popped up over their 2-decade run, you're still going to have trouble keeping them out. And I think that, I think that there's too much in our world right now. There is too much lack of transparency around the exact numbers and who voted. This is the conversation around officiating in our different leagues. Hey, bro, it's the NBA. We want officials to be accountable for the calls they make and don't make, right? As to whether they're right or wrong. That's what this is. People want, hey, this guy voted. Like, I feel like what people want is X Bill Polian kept the hoodie out, and here's a paragraph why. he kept him out. And there has to be like a level of accountability there. I think that's what people want. And right now, that's not the case. I have seen a bunch of different Hall of Fame voters on Twitter coming out and talking about how ridiculous it is and why they should be in. And like, so, I mean, I think that they, the people who support these two getting in are talking about it, of course, but I just, right now, culturally, in the bigger picture, we just have this weird, like, we have this weird kind of obsession with, man, like we got to hold everybody accountable for every little single thing. Yeah. And then when we rob them of something, because that's what this is, in my opinion, we don't want to talk about why we actually did that, because that would look poor on us. And that's what I think is tough.
Yeah, so the Epstein files are a completely different thing. That's a different conversation, and I agree that needs to be adjudicated, and I am all here for it.
By the way, this is awful for the NFL, in case you were wondering. Like, Super Bowl week, you kept these two out. This is terrible for the league in the bigger picture.
You needed a celebration. You needed it, and what you're really doing here is you are punishing the NFL by keeping these two guys out, in my opinion, because it's villains and dynasties are what makes sports great. You look at putting those two in the Hall of Fame. The Patriots are in the Super Bowl. No, I do not think they're going to win, but what if they win? Right? It's just, you missed an opportunity. If they keep Brady out close to Hall of Fame, that would be the thing that would keep me off the NFL. Tom Brady not being a Hall of Famer.
Oh, and this is a good point, Mike, right here, that you needed 40 out of 50 votes, which means that 10 people didn't vote for him, which to me, and again, this is why I think you need transparency around voting and who didn't vote, and you need to be publicly accountable for your votes. But like, to me, it's like, okay, well, if 10 people got together and said, hey, we're not going to vote for these guys, I agree that's more than 3 or 2, like that's obviously a bigger group, but this is not like half of the voters. Like this is not a majority saying they should not be in. And that to me is the issue with the voting system, is that the Hall of Fame wants it to be a thing where you got to have 80 or 90 or 95%, like not unanimous, but like just a convincing majority. And to me, it's just, it goes against the premise of voting for something. If we're voting for something, we're voting because we need to get a majority on something. That's the whole idea. Hey, we need 51% to make a decision. Like, that's it. And you've only got 50 people voting on this thing, and you need 40 of them to get. I don't know. I think that there's definitely going to be reform on this. There's definitely going to be, changes to how voting is done in the Hall of Fame. And I will say, on the other side of the conversation, I do think it's an opportunity once again for Tom Brady to be positive and to create change in the NFL after his career. And I do think you will see him speak on this. You will see him take this thing by the horns. And I do think that he will be vocal about this. I would be surprised if he did not go to bat for these two. Even though I know that sometimes it was contentious between him and the hoodie, those two accomplished a lot of things together, and they still have a good relationship.
I hate stuff like this so much. Chewy Gonzalez, a member for 14 months. Screw the Dodgers. Mornings are a smart move. No more Jesuit James. Yeah, we've seemingly silently lost Jesuit James. Rock and rant. I can simultaneously think it's ridiculous that neither of them got in, while also thinking it's hysterical, and also appreciate the NFL script writers, even though I don't think it's fixed. Karma Patriots. Could be.
Script writers did a great job with that one.
I am, man. Yeah. The Patriots have a history of controversies for so long that I'm sure the voters were affected by all of it at some level. Sure.
But again, okay, if we're going down that rabbit hole, let's take this off of the Patriots for a minute. Just to kind of prove the point of how much of a problem this is as we head down the road of other iconic players becoming Hall of Fame eligible. I know. Let's use Aaron Rodgers as an example. So what's the excuse going to be with Aaron Rodgers if he were to not get in first ballot? Because even me, as the most bitter, the most, I'm not an Aaron Rodgers guy at all. Don't like him as a dude. Don't think he's a great teammate. Don't think he's a great dude. Don't think he treats women well. Like all of it. He should be a Hall of Famer. And I think that. So what are you gonna do with Aaron Rodgers? Are you gonna sit here and say that this guy lied to the media over the coronavirus? You're gonna sit here and talk about the drug use? You're gonna sit here and talk about the smelling salts on the field, or the fact
Olivia
that
Munn, how he broke Olivia Munn's heart?
Are you gonna? Here's one. Are you gonna talk about the alleged drug use before games that allowed him to play through injury? I mean, how far are we taking this? And I only say this not even to make it about Aaron, but just to say, like, think about all the guys who are going to become Hall of Fame eligible over the next 5 years, who have played through the 2010s, played through the early 2000s, and are we going to sit here and pick their life apart and focus on all the bad stuff, or are we going to take the opportunity to celebrate what they were able to accomplish on the football field?
This is, Matt Muldoon. Cooperstown has some bullshit about not making any player unanimous. Yeah. And Derek Jeter getting one guy didn't vote for him.
Yeah.
And who are the unanimous guys? Are Ichiro's one. Who's the other unanimous guy?
Should just look it up.
Oh, Mariano Rivera. And Ichiro are both unanimous.
So like the guy who didn't vote for Jeter. The guy who didn't vote for Jeter. Did you not vote for Jeter over the gift baskets?
He's a hero, Jake. He's the hero that we needed.
No, he's the jag that needs to not be voting in the Hall of Fame.
It's ridiculous. Maybe this isn't a distraction from the Epstein files.
But this is my point. We're spending Super Bowl week now talking about the Hall of Fame. And again, I'm going to bring up the point I brought up when the playoffs started this year for the NFL. I do think this will be a good game. And I do think that the Patriots have a really good chance in this game based on a couple of things that we'll get into later in the week. But I cannot believe we're literally spending Tuesday of Super Bowl week now talking about Bill Belichick in the Hall of Fame and Rob Kraft and just the lack of responsibility. Like, yeah, Lamont, you would know about sad days in a football program, wouldn't you? Sad day for the NFL. Sad day. Agreed. Couldn't agree more, dude. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, Lamont Sucker, a member of the Monty Show for 28 months. Lamont, always good to see you. Bobby Fowler's here. Whoa!
Hey, Bobby.
Morning, boys. If they keep arguably the greatest player of all time out in the first year of eligibility for the Hall of Fame, then what the F? What the fuck? Right? Then there is proof there's a grudge and it's personal. Because this is all you work for in the NFL. I am telling you, it is devastating. It is devastating. Absolutely devastating to these guys. Like, brutal. T.O. did not get in the first couple of years. Well, that's because he was doing sit-ups in the driveway. You guys remember?
But T.O. in the driveway. T.O.'s a good example, right? T.O., one of the greatest receivers in NFL history. One of the all-time most dramatic players, just constantly talking type guys. But, the stats and the numbers and the performance say he should be a Hall of Famer. Was he a Hall of Famer? No, not those first few years, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. This is so frustrating to me. Pacing Cougar fan, Miss Monty messing with the volume controls.
I believe that's a voice box reference.
Is it a voice box reference? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was told I was being too silly with the voice box, and I used it too much.
Who told you that? Because I didn't.
It was the day that we went full cockneck on the show.
Okay. Well, what's wrong with cockneck? I mean, that guy's the energy you should be living on, right? I mean, that
pretty
guy
much is.
Dude, that guy's one step short of this Anthony Weaver video we're going to play later today. Like,
yeah, Anthony Weaver is now, dude, Yeah. The one guy did not vote for Jeter, said something along the lines of he did not vote for him because they did not vote for someone else in years prior. Like, it's the stupidest thing.
I mean, this is schoolyard garbage, dude. Like, what are we doing?
You're talking about people's legacies. I mean, come on. What are we even talking about? Right? D-Rock, good morning to you. It's shocking. Anyway, so the big news this morning, just breaking, Patriots owner Bob Kraft not elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, according to Adam Schefter at ESPN. And I will never understand it. I'll never understand it. I have been bitter since Tim Brown took several years to get in to the Hall of Fame, has been broken for years. Yes. I would agree with that. And before we get to the Mountain West and the Pac-12, I say I am so glad that we have this video, because I don't even know how to describe how much I love this thinking. I don't even know. I love it that much.
Like, I'm old school. I may sit up here, I'm a nice guy, I smile, I do all those things, but all of our problems that we need to solve can be solved through violence. Yeah, they want to legislate it out of the game, but we play defensive football. And in defensive football, at some point, you draw a line in the sand and you say, I'm going to set the edge. I'm going to stick my helmet under this guy's chin, and I'm going to set the edge. I'm going to violently take the ball away. And that's what we need to do, with a steely-eyed focus, with resolve, with resiliency, and we're going to stop people. And I'm determined, we're all determined for that to happen.
Yeah, you need to calm your heart rate down there, bud.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, having said that, obviously, that's Anthony Weaver, the former DC of the Dolphins, now of the Ravens. And I am here for it, dude. I am somebody that believes defensive football has to be intimidating. It has to be disciplined, and it has to be well coached. And violence is what solves your problems in football.
Yep.
And again, before you're like, oh, Monty, all this happening in the world, I'm not talking about off the football field.
Monty, you're advocating for CT. Yeah, whatever, dude. It's football.
Football is a violent game. It hurts. And if you play defense, you need to make it hurt. And I think as somebody that grew up with one of the most painful, pain-inflicting, injury-inducing defenses in the history of the NFL, with Buddy Ryan and the Chicago Bears.
The Bears.
There's nothing like it. And I just look at how wound up he gets, and notice that he grabs his watch at the end.
Like, I'm old school. I may sit up here, I'm a nice guy, I smile, I do all those things, but all of our problems that we need to solve can be solved through violence. Yeah, they want to legislate it out of the game, but we play defensive football. And in defensive football, at some point, you draw a line in the sand and you say, I'm going to set the edge. I'm going to stick my helmet under this guy's chin, and I'm going to set the edge. I'm going to violently take the ball away. And that's what we need to do, with a steely-eyed focus, with resolve, with resiliency, and we're going to stop people. And I'm determined, we're all determined for that to happen.
Hey, Anthony, this is your Apple Watch.
Hey, Anthony, this is your Apple Watch, you dumb son of a biscuit. You need to calm down. Oh, but you stay violent,
Hey, bro, can we have a conversation about who is more fired up, dude, Anthony Weaver or Cockneck? Who was more fired up? Because I got to tell you, I think Anthony Weaver did a good job of staying composed while the heart rate climbed. But I think this comparison between these two is justified.
Better is the key, man. That needs to be our word in here. Better. We're not worried about just being the best. We got to get better every day. All right. So a better you makes a better CU. All right. A better you makes a better CU. And don't forget about this every day you work out. They thought they buried us, but they didn't know we were seeds. You got me? So remember that every day.
Hell yeah.
They thought they buried us, but then they didn't know that we had spread our seed.
Yeah. 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 I mean, Dude, I tend to lean towards Weaver as the winner here, and Sumrall probably is on the outside looking in between the three of them. But I mean, dude, that's the kind of energy you need to be starting your day with.
Yeah, I am telling you.
Dick Hammer.
It is just incredible. That's what's great about football. I love the story of Deacon Jones head slapping people. Oh, here's a great story from Monty years past. So Deke was a guy, Deacon Jones,
Hey, Deke,
who I know very well, knew very well, would be a regular guest on the Jim Rome show. And his stories about how much damage he would do with the head slap. I mean, he knew who he could target and that they would fold. And he got into faking the head slap. And there's tape of offensive linemen and him just going right by. Like, it's incredible. The Deacon Jones stuff it's amazing. You know, it truly is amazing. No one has anything on Brokeback Buddy, but Weaver's was pretty good. Yeah, Brokeback Buddy is.
you don't even know dude's name on in the comments section.
But dude, that throbbing neck of his.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, it's the whole motif. It's the black shirt with the black feather, the tan hat. Like it's just he gets it. He gets it.
Angry Phil, yeah, bring back the old Oakland Raiders of Jack Tatum, George Atkinson, and Phil Villapiano. Well, you know, the funny thing about the 70s NFL is it was illegal. I am a guy who says illegal. I don't like those blindside blocks we've always seen. The Ed Reed sprinting down the field on kick coverage.
I like those a lot, dude.
See, bro. It's hard for me to watch those because I know what that's doing to those dudes. And so I look at that and then I say to myself, you don't need to do that. What you need to do is put your shoulder into somebody's chest, and you need to do it with precision and violence. You, at some point, you know that when you walk onto a football field, pain is coming. And what I respect about football at the highest level is you don't run from the pain. You don't run from the injuries. You just know that it's going to happen and you accept it and you overcome it. And there's something real inside of that because football is scary business.
Facts.
Football is scary business. And you hear Anthony Weaver, you hear all these guys going on about this. And I'm just telling you, you hear his words and you understand. There's no explanation needed.
Like, I'm old school. I may sit up here, I'm a nice guy, I smile, I do all those things, but all of our problems that we need to solve can be solved through violence. Yeah, they want to legislate it out of the game, but we play defensive football. And in defensive football, at some point, you draw a line in the sand and you say, I'm going to set the edge. I'm going to stick my helmet under this guy's chin, and I'm going to set the edge. I'm going to violently take the ball away. And that's what we need to do with a steely-eyed focus, with resolve, with resiliency, and we're going to stop people. And I'm determined, we're all determined for that to happen.
See, you don't need John Sumrall tackling a 17-year-old kid in a corridor, right? We don't need the fake BS, contrived whatever, right? Like, I need the steely-eyed focus. All of our problems can be solved with violence. Goddamn right.
I'm going to set the edge.
If Notre Dame had violence at Hard Rock Stadium last September, we would have played in the college football playoff. But instead, we were watching passes get completed and
the greatest 10-game run ever, right? I mean,
in the history of college football, right? Like, that's the
not Hall of Fame worthy, but the greatest 10-game run in the history of college football.
Correct. Yeah. That's the singular biggest issue.
Yeah.
Is it we just don't want to do it. And finally, real quick and then in 8 minutes, we're going to get to the Mountain West Pac-12 story. Then there is Sam Darnold talking about what he does for fun. In the comments section, what is your escape? What do you do for fun? What is your thing? Because, again, Sam Darnold's one of us.
Yeah, I love golf. I love playing golf. I love watching golf on YouTube. That's one thing. And then when we get an opportunity, me and my fiance to go out and have some good food. I love. I'm a little bit of a foodie, just like trying all these different spots in Seattle. So, but those are the main two things I would say: food and golf. Favorite course. I was able to play Cypress a couple years ago, and that was pretty special.
So he is one of us.
Yes.
And so for me, what I enjoy, spending time with my wife, certainly, going out to dinner, certainly, and playing golf, certainly. I love traveling. Traveling is probably my favorite way to pass time. But golf and food is not a bad way to live your life, Jake. Like those are two of the greatest.
Well, yeah. I mean, we were talking about this yesterday, right? I mean, I think that I think that one of the best things about being an adult is doing quick weekend trips, to your favorite spots. I have
like
to say,
Las Vegas to play golf.
Yeah, or SoCal to play golf. There are a few things that are more enjoyable. Being able to, because again, my big thing is we work so much that it's nice to just be outside in the sun and not be working and just kind of enjoying yourself. Like I just think it's that's what it's about.
Ride horses, smoke cigarettes, and lay the pipe.
Yeah,
Dick Hammer.
Dick, I got a lot of appreciation for that.
Yeah, violence solves all our problems, right?
My escape is music, whether listening to it or playing guitar. Nothing like venting off some anger by playing some old school Metallica or Slayer on a guitar. I would agree with that.
Yeah,
not
dude.
that I can because I've got sausage fingers.
Right.
But there's nothing. Music is a great escape.
Yeah,
music is a great escape. No question about it. No question about it. All right. Let's get into this story on the Pac-12 and the Mountain West. After I remind you to take your bucked up creatine, buckedup.com. You guys see me drinking it every day. I've got it right here. The EAA's essential amino acids, dude, game changer. Absolute game changer. For me, one of the things that I really notice with creatine and the amino acids is I have a lot more energy. I take 10 milligrams of creatine every single day. Buckedup.com, creatine monohydrate, best creatine in the business. I put 2 scoops in here with essential amino acids. It is a great first thing in the morning rehydrator. But anytime you need a drink, you guys know I'm a big advocate of not drinking soda. I don't think you should be drinking soda. 20 ounces of water, 2 scoops of creatine, 1 scoop of EAAs. It is a great way to replenish your system. And you can get it for 20% off at buckedup.com. Use the promo code Monty, buckedup.com. Buckedup.com. Creatine, EAAs, pre-workouts, the best in the business. Telling you, hook it up, buckedup.com. Use the promo code Monty. That DC is from the comedian Bob Nelson. This is my helmet. These are my shoulder pads era after one too many hits, dude. I love the energy. Anthony Weaver, now defensive coordinator of the Ravens. When does Bucked Up THC come out? Never. Never. Let the music be your master. Will you heed the master's call? Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm here to heed the master's call.
Right.
Buckedup.com. Use the promo code Monty to get 20% off. Big news coming today. The Mountain West will announce their TV and distribution deal today, and it has some folks in the Pac-12 rankled. And if you go back in time, and the best part about YouTube is everything lives forever. It's easy to find what we've said about the Mountain West. We told you the Mountain West TV deal will have a significant CBS component to it. I am told by sources CBS Sports Network will play a big role in it. There's a lot of belief in the TV industry that it's going to be a very similar deal, including the CW, to the Pac-12 in both number and in partners. And if that is in fact the case, I think you are going to hear the rumblings that are already coming from the Pac-12, because we talked a lot about this deal. And I have told you, and I continue to tell you, sources in the TV industry have told us for months. I talked to several yesterday about this. There is no win here for the Pac-12. And I will just continue to tell you this. There is no win in this conversation, in this situation for the Pac-12. That does not exist, because you already have frustration growing inside the Pac-12 about the lack of resources coming from the TV deal. Essentially, how little money is going to each university versus what was promised. And if you look at the reports across the country that are now confirming what we reported 3-4 months ago, the $15 million number was thrown about liberally in the Pac-12. They believed they were going to get $15 million a year per school, and that was never happening. That was never happening. And we told you that on the show, and a Pac-12 fan got all uppity about it and got upset, and yes, we are. No, you're not. You're getting $4 to $6 million per year in your TV deal. And the net in the Pac-12, and this is really where the rubber's going to meet the road. The net in the Pac-12 will be less because they have significantly higher cost of infrastructure in the Pac-12 than they have in the Mountain West. And the issue, and obviously the situation wholly created by the Pac-12 here, is you put yourself in a us versus them situation. And you start to understand that everything the Pac-12 is doing will now be compared to everything the Mountain West is doing. And it is, as I've told you guys for months and months and months, it is going to be impossible for either one of these two entities to thrive because the Pac-12 refused to merge. And I think it is absolutely coming to roost. It costs you money in your TV deal. We already know that. It is cost you money in sponsorship deals. We already know that. It is cost you money in legal fees. We already know that. There's no win here for the Pac-12. The win for the Mountain West is much easier to describe. Well, you survived. That's a win, because this conference, and I will continue to say, without the leadership of Gloria Nevarez, her staff, and the presidents remaining in the Mountain West, this conference does not survive. You have superior leadership top to bottom in the Mountain West than you have in the Pac-12. And it's why when things went sideways, Gloria Nevarez did not run and hide. She called her TV partners. She called her stakeholders. When the news, came to their doorstep that these 5 members were leaving to go to the Pac-12, they didn't fold and collapse. They got right to work. That's the biggest difference. And I think the other difference is you don't see the Mountain West out pandering with hat in hand. I have continued to tell you, the interview that Teresa Gould did with Front Office Sports was not transformational as her partnerships were supposed to be. It was damaging. That quote that we play on this show all the time about how the Pac-12 needs a transformational partnership and they can't have somebody just cut us a check. This quote absolutely played a role in their TV negotiations.
The one thing I keep saying to potential partners is, given where we are as a league, I don't want these partnerships to be transactional partnerships. I don't want this to be a media rights partner writing us a check and televising a bunch of games. We need these partnerships to be transformational at this point, and for somebody to really jump in with us and say, we want to help elevate and reimagine the new Pac-12.
That never happened. And it never happened because it's business as usual. You asked for too much money, you overvalued your brand, and then you underdelivered for your partners. And it continues. And this story now about how there is frustration inside the Pac-12 from this new group, right? There is frustration about the lack of finances and the lack of resources coming out of the media rights deal. And you understand it, because I think the question that we ask all the time on this show, what did you promise Boise State? What did you promise Gonzaga? What were your promises to the new members to get them to join your conference?
Gonzaga.
And I believe now more than I've ever believed. I think that $15 million number is hanging over the Pac-12's head like an anvil. I think it is absolutely bad for business. It is bad for morale, and you already have a morale problem inside of the Pac-12. And Jake, I don't know how you fix it.
Yeah, well, and I also think there's responsibility that falls on the schools that left the Mountain West to do this, right? I mean, part of this is that you bought what was being sold. I mean, you looked at the situation and you were like, yeah, I agree. We're going to go out and get a $12 to $15 million a year TV deal. Well, how did you think that was going to happen? What did you think that was going to change in the bigger picture with TV partners and TV distributors that would allow you to make that a reality? And that's where I really struggle with this idea that, because I kind of see it as a two-part thing. So, like, obviously the Pac-12 as a conference, was selling a bill of goods that, in my opinion, they were never going to be able to deliver on.
Right.
There was never a time and space where you as a conference at this level, in this situation, with this adversity, were going to be able to get 12 to 15 a year for every school in your conference. That just wasn't, you weren't doing that. There was never going to be a thing. Like, and we've said that. Go on our YouTube channel, search Pac-12. We've been saying this for, probably 2 years now. But then secondarily, when you look at this group, the conference plus the schools, then it's like, okay, well, now I start to look at these schools and I say, okay, well, let's not forget where these schools were and where they could be right now had they made different decisions, right? Had you stayed in the Mountain West, had you not gone to the other side of the fence, had you not been like, yeah, the grass is definitely greener on the other side, you wouldn't be dealing with this. You wouldn't be having to ask Teresa Gould and the leadership of this conference, hey, well, where's the TV deal? Hey, we're disappointed in the TV deal. Hey, we're frustrated that we're not getting the revenue that you had kind of talked about, and I have to say, I struggle to empathize with these schools because it never looked like some great deal on the horizon for them in this conference. And part of the decision to leave the Mountain West and go after this, this gold mine, if you will, that you thought was there, was that you were going to screw the Mountain West. You were going to put the Mountain West in a really bad position, a conference that had provided safety, security, reliability for you, a structure and a relationship with the other schools inside the conference that was tried and true. And yes, were there some issues? Sure. Every conference has issues. Are there things you wanted to improve? Absolutely. No, I'm not running from that. But the reality is the life you were leading in the Mountain West was not a bad life. And let's not forget what every Pac-12 fan wants to slap us in the face about. Oh, well, Boise State was in the CFP as a Mountain West team. So Now I get to add to the resume that you had CFP access from time to time out of the Mountain West, not out of the CFP, or not out of the Pac-12. So my main point here is that whether you look at the schools, you look at the conference, they both bought into a fairy tale that's not going to take place. And now we're sitting here with buyer's remorse. And now it's like, okay, well, where do we go from here? Because even if you want to unwind the watch, good luck doing that, bro, because I don't think the Mountain West is just fawning over themselves to add you back to the conference.
No, I think it's going to be very difficult. And I think the other thing is, remember why you left the Mountain West. The resources and the money and the top side. And, well, you're living in the reality that every TV source that I've spoken to about the Pac-12 TV deal has said and the message is unchanged. And again, I'll put the graphic back on the screen. Where's the large TV market on this graphic? Because it's not San Diego.
Gonzaga.
It's not Spokane. Your largest TV viewership on this graphic is likely Washington State. And there's just not a lot of value in that athletic brand right now, unfortunately. They're in a very difficult position financially and budget-wise. And I think you look across this roster, what does, and again, not to be a red ass, what does Texas State bring to this media deal? What is Corvallis, Oregon? What is Logan, Utah? What is Fresno, California? I don't know. And the problem is the people in television that I speak to don't know either. They don't see that there is tremendous value in this deal. And the issue now becomes, what happens when this deal is announced today and it's remarkably similar in scope and value between the Pac-12 and the Mountain West? That's a really bad look for the Pac-12.
Yeah, well, the optics are two things. It's twofold. One, it is like, hey, well, you left to do all this and you got the same deal. Like, it got you nothing. All the consternation.
You lost money. No. Oh, no. Like, if it's the same deal and
you lost
we don't
money,
have, we don't have the numbers. We don't have the numbers on the Pac-12 media rights deal. I think we all feel pretty comfortable between, I would say, $5 to $6 million. If that is in fact the case, you lost significant money on your move to the Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
And your dispute with the Mountain West hasn't even come to a conclusion yet. You have backslid massively. If you are especially these former members of the Mountain West, they have backslid financially. There's no way to spin it. You can go back to the J.D. Wicker. We're going to have a significant TV deal. We're going to... No, you're not. You're not. You're just not. It is just...
I mean, we should stop beating around the bush, though. At what point do these two merge? At what point does it happen? Because that's what this deal does, right? Like, I agree. It's clear the Pac-12 has lost money now, and all the schools that went with it, you lost money. I couldn't agree more. But what this deal also does, and my second point here is that it's just going to stoke the fire of you two should merge. It's the same deal. It's a similar deal. Like, bro, just merge, get it done, and then we don't have to talk about two different deals and, all this, like, just this clunkiness. And again, that's the other part of it, is that leaving the Mountain West to try to reboot the Pac-12 and make it what it once was and restore its former glory, like, that's not happening. As much as you want it to happen, it's not happening. And too often in business now, and it's because of a certain individual leading our country, but too often in business, people want to say, oh, well, because I said it's this thing, that makes it true. And that's just not the case, dude. You can't sit here and be like, yeah, dude, our new conference is the same as the old one. Yeah, except for the fact that you don't have Oregon and Washington and Utah and Arizona State and Arizona. And like, what are we talking about? Like, this isn't even a conversation.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know what we're talking about.
And
It's
honestly,
not close.
How did they believe? And this is really the part that concerns me. Genuinely, this concerns me. Teresa Gould, that leadership group, and the schools who left the Mountain West to go to the new Pac-12. Did you genuinely, in your heart of heart, believe that this conference was going to be valued at anything near what the old Pac-12 was?
Yes, they did. Yes,
well,
they did.
Okay, if you did, then I need to understand what you saw or what we're smoking. Because with all due respect, it's just not even close. It's just not. So I don't know. That's why I say a lot of times with these stories we talk about, I don't know what you're looking at. Like, typically in these situations where an asset is not valued at what someone would like it valued at, there's another piece to the value pie. I'm going to take a crap deal because I'm getting a spiff under the table. I'm going to go play. I'm going to get in the portal and I'm going to go play at some tiny ass brand because that tiny ass brand, is giving me a massive paycheck.
Fucking right. That's exactly right.
But that's not here. It literally is just, hey, we genuinely in our heart of hearts listen to that guy from San Francisco that we played, that analyst they had from that marketing firm that I can't remember the name of right now, talk about how, oh man, all this value and man, similar markets. And it's like, no, actually, dude, Eugene, while small in stature, has a massive TV market nationally, but that same formula doesn't really work in Corvallis. That doesn't work. It's different. It's two different things. As close as they are, it's different.
Listen, I again, Pac-12 fan, I know you're pissed off and I know what you do, but what you can't get away from is you have small TV markets and the games are not of consequence because you're not a significant conference. You're not even a conference at this point. You are asking television partners to pay you upwards of $100 million a year. And what leverage is there? I know if I pay $1 billion a year in the Big Ten, I'm going to get massive games of consequence that tens of millions of people are going to watch. You may not get tens of millions of people for the entire season. And the reason that is because now your TV deal is so splintered and fractured. And all of this to say, this is a problem with expectations. And you believe that the Pac-12 brand, which is dead in the water, as I have said for 2 years now, it has zero weight. You believe that you could put a Pac-12 shield up and people would pay money that they never paid
look at the
previously.
Graphic. Hold on, to your point. Look at this graphic. This is your best point. What is this graphic, dude? This graphic is literally a white background with the Pac-12 shield in all of the team logos. This is the best you could do with this?
This is Buddy, the graphics guy who's an intern, being like, yeah, this looks good.
Bro, I could have done better with Canva, dude. Like, come on.
I am
incredible.
amazed. I am amazed. And if you're the Mountain West, you know what the sad part of this is? The Mountain West has done everything right. They have legit in a defensive, and now they have gone from their defensive posture to a proactive posture. They're playing offense. You have made all of these great deals. You have new partnerships. You have Las Vegas. You have a new TV deal you're announcing today. And you just know you could be significantly further ahead if the Pac-12 and the Mountain West had merged, which Gloria Nevarez and her constituents raised multiple times to the Pac-12, and they universally said no. You just know the money you're leaving on the table.
To which I ask, who is Teresa Gould talking to? Like, who are they communicating with that makes them think that they should not partner with the Mountain West?
Adela Della Torre.
Yeah, I guess.
It's these former members. And again, having talked to administrators at just about all of these universities at this point, the former members are just not willing to put their egos aside. The arrogance that we have seen from the absolute miscreants at San Diego State, the embarrassment, the frauds, the absolute, I don't even know how, like, the business of doing college sports is so poorly handled at San Diego State. J.D. Wicker has been wrong every time he has spoken. At least in my opinion, he's been wrong.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, J.D. Wicker is a blight and an embarrassment on the face of San Diego State in this conference. I mean, it goes all the way back to, well, why were the structure of the exit fees rewritten? J.D. Wicker, Adela Della Torre. Well, we're not leaving. What? That's why we are where we are. Because those are the minds that are driving the Pac-12. And I compare that to the quiet, behind the scenes operating that the Mountain West has chosen, and they just add new members, they do new deals, sponsorship deals, Las Vegas deals, all the wins. And yet, because you're so bitter and broken in the Pac-12, you've essentially damaged both yourself in the Pac-12 and the Mountain West beyond repair at this point. Because now you're probably far gone in a merger. That's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. You have spent so much money on lawyers, and I know that people lose their mind in the Pac-12 when I say this. There's no way to financially recover from the mistakes that you've made. That ship has sailed. You just need to, the money that you watched go up in smoke, that you threw into the fire because you were going to get this massive TV deal and be worth $15 million a year per school, and the Mountain West was going out of business, and you're suing them and GCU and this and...
What the fuck are you, Ranger Rick?
What did you win? This is the single question I will continue to ask anybody in the Pac-12. What have you accomplished? What have you won? What business are you standing on? It's not a TV and distribution deal. It's not great membership. It's not a bright future with a great brand, because that's not a thing. You know what you're standing on? Basketball. You had better hope, because if we continue with the 20% of your revenue as basketball TV money, you had better hope that your basketball team, that you put 3, 4, 5 teams in the tournament every year, because that's the only way that you're going to have any ability to operate and expand. Because at some point, I would also remind you, this is the exact same circumstances the Pac-12 has operated in since its inception. You are still paying for your own television production. You still have your facility in San Ramon. You have all of the equipment that you're going to have to continue to maintenance. You're going to have to continue to keep up to date technology-wise. Like, the Pac-12 network stuff is just a black hole of money. And you're having to produce games. And you have all of these built-in expenses that you frankly can't afford.
Oh, and remember the sales pitch too on being able to produce your own games. State-of-the-art facility. Man, we're just incredible. Like, that sets us apart. Like, you know, so that, I don't know, man. It baffles me that for such a, because again, the Pac-12's heart has always been in Silicon Valley, right? It's always been in the Bay Area and that sort of part of our country. And it always has baffled me and surprised me that for a conference that's based out there and theoretically in like the tech hub of the country, doing business in like the tech and like just kind of making everything work has just never really been their strength. And I guess I just don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, I don't know what the end goal here is. What's the end goal? Is the end goal to be what you once were? Is that what we're trying to do here with this conference right now? Is that what the initial thing was? Hey, we're going to restore the greatness of the Pac-12. Well, if you thought you were going to restore the greatness of the Pac-12, then why are you doing it with brands from the G5? Like that was your single biggest mistake. That decision right there set you on a course to forever be fighting for your life. And at some point, it will come out that this conference doesn't exist anymore. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. And the reason I say that is not because it sucks or I hate it. It's because you don't have the financial backing. You don't have the ingredients to bake the cake, man. You don't have what you need to survive. And you should merge. And if you want to merge under the Pac-12 brand, okay, maybe that's something to talk about. But it's just, you're not going to reboot what you had. That's not happening.
Yeah, that is the single biggest mistake that the members of this Pac-12 made. And if turning down the opportunity to merge is just a huge mistake.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll ever recover from it.
It goes back to not adding Texas. It goes back to not adding BYU. It goes back to not taking the opportunity to add quality brands to your conference back when. Because again, I think if there's one lesson that's been learned out of the Pac-12, it's that you add brands that are valuable, like top end brands. When that opportunity comes knocking, you should most likely take advantage of it. Even if it means that there's some clunkiness in your business ops, it's always good to have those brands in your conference. And it's what terrifies me about the direction of the Big 12 and this whole narrative that Big 12 fan wants to push, that it was good for Texas and OU to leave. That's never good for your conference. Just like it wasn't good for the Pac-12, just like it's not good for the ACC if Miami were to leave. Like, it's never good for your conference, dude. That's not a good idea.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how this all works and how this all plays out. I'm very interested to see what happens. I don't know how both these conferences survive. I'll continue to say that. And there is much more, I think there is much more favor towards the Mountain West than the Pac-12. Mm-hmm. I don't have any doubt about that. There is much more. I think people have a lot more respect for Gloria Nevarez than they do Teresa Gould. And I have heard that repeatedly. And I just don't know how the Pac-12, if this deal that is announced today is similar to the Pac-12's deal, you're not going to have a mutiny. You're not going to have a meltdown. The Pac-12's not going anywhere in the near future. It is going to be the next iteration of TV deal where this conference will come apart. And I think you have inside the Pac-12, the membership has voiced frustration over the value of that TV deal. And you don't recover from that mistake, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not merging. Yeah. I don't think you recover. Kenneth Maynor, should have merged. The American is clearly the best G6 conference. Well, I don't know if I would say that. I don't think I would say that. I think East Coast bias and ESPN backing makes a big difference. If the American eventually adds James Madison, it would be even clearer. I think the American has a basketball problem.
Yeah, I look, I think that listen, if you want to die on the hill of the American being the best G6 conference, knock yourself out, man. I appreciate the effort here. My opinion is that the conversation is not about who's the best G6 conference, because frankly, in the bigger picture, I don't think anyone gives a damn. I think what people care about is that is that you have a conference that's well heeled, that can execute the role of being a stepping stone to the power conferences, and through that process can win conference championships and can make money at the G6 level. That's all anyone cares about. And yeah, do I agree with you, Kenneth, that ESPN's backing and a bit of East Coast bias will help you? Sure, of course. I think we see that play out the Power Four. I think it's why the SEC has done so well. Frankly, it's why it's incredible the ACC is in the spot it's in, because obviously they are the furthest most East Coast conference. But I think that people ultimately, especially in football, but obviously in college athletics overall, care about money and winning. And the Pac-12 does neither of that. And the Mountain West, I would contend, is very good in business overall. But they could use some more winning. Absolutely, they could use some more winning for sure. That would help.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Oregon State and Washington State highly overvalued themselves. Jay, I would agree with that. Chris Faithful, hello. You mean Oregon State and Wazoo weren't worth $10 million a year to the old Pac-12 media deals? Yeah, apparently not. Apparently not. All the PAC teams thought the grass was greener, only to find out it was just spray painted on weeds.
Yeah, they took they took the Troon approach, right? We're going to spray paint the fairways instead of grow real grass. Yeah, that was the approach. Yeah.
You hate when golf courses do that.
It drives me nuts. I will go out of my way not to play them. I'm not paying hundreds of dollars to play your course to be on AstroTurf and then some fake grass. I want real grass.
Yeah. The Pac-12 teams overvalued themselves. Oregon State and Wazoo were left holding the bag, and instead of learning that, they made the same mistakes that cost them in the first place. You paid to leave a conference and you're getting the same contract. You paid to make the same money, so you actually lost money. Significant money. Second most popular, Oregon. Second, Washington. Fourth best, Utah. Fourth and fifth best, Cal. And 10th best, Texas. Isn't a major conference worth $15 million. It's a tough sell. It is a tough sell. I would agree with that. Someone should force Texas State and Utah State to remake their team logos. Those two look like trash, or maybe it's just me. Oh, you're not wrong.
Well, the whole Pac-12 logo to announce those teams was trash. I mean, that's just not good enough. Like, it's not. Ain't even close.
Oh, look, Chaplain James White.
Well, how is your life's work going, brother? Have you rid the rectory and the church of pedophiles yet, or how are we doing?
Is it possible Teresa Gould thought she could get Cal and Stanford back? Bro, you have been so stuck on that for how long? Chaplain James White has repeatedly said that Stanford and Cal should or would join the Pac-12 again.
And with all due respect.
And it makes no sense whatsoever. And I said, yeah, it makes no sense at all. At all. Welcome to the nightmare. The name may be the same, but the caliber of teams along with what the conference can offer is nowhere close to the old PAC. That's exactly right. That's right. I agree. The real awkward guy. LOL, what did the Pac-12 expect when they hired someone to lead the conference when they were a piece of the regime that led to its collapse? You can't take the same actions and expect different outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that. And they do. Monty, you didn't say that to them Pac-12 fans. I know.
Hey, boy.
Hey, boy. You didn't say that. They impaired Pac-12 fans. Did not. No. If only one of four just took Oregon State and Washington State, the Pac-12 would be no more, and we would not be going through this drama. Can you imagine if the Big 12 had taken Oregon State? Whew. Man, they should have a graphic with whales and laser beams.
Well, Monty, this is our style.
Yeah. Gloria greater than Teresa. Well, it's tough to argue that at this point, isn't it? I mean, I think it is. If the Mountain West still comes out close to what you think it is versus the Pac-12, the Pac-12 members should fire their commissioner instantly. It proves they should just have merged. Well, I think it's awfully difficult. If if what we're seeing and hearing is true, that frustration is growing inside the Pac-12 with the lack of revenue from a TV deal, distribution deal.
Yeah.
Call it what you want. Media rights deal. This conference will not survive. It will never even prosper. It will never get close to prosperity. It won't. It won't. Hey, look at that. Rock and Rant's been a member for 18 months.
Nice job.
Congratulations on Darian Mensah, by the way. Oh, by the way. Congratulations. Monty Show makes more from YouTube than the Pac-12 pays. Exactly right. Damn right. Damn right. Dumbest move by the Pac-12, smartest move by the Big 12 is BYU. Yes. The only big-name school out there that did not come with a payout to leave a conference. And yet, well, Sunday play, bro, and we drink caffeine in our dirty underwear.
Sunday play. Get the hell out of
Right?
here, dude.
It's
Come on.
wild. It's wild to me. It is. Jimmy just made a great point. If San Diego State and Boise State go to the American, the Pac-12 will be dead, but they're not going to the American. They have a grant of rights signed in the Pac-12.
Why would they go to the American?
What did Jimmy say? Jimmy's no longer a member. Look at that. The Pac-12 still thinks they will get UNLV, Memphis, Tulane. Well, UNLV's kind of made it very clear they're not. Well, and now they have a grant of rights. That's rock solid, fully formed, signed, done. Obviously, with a TV deal coming out today. What happens if the American calls on Boise State and San Diego State? They can't leave. You guys, they're locked in through this grant of rights. There's no more change, at least on the exit ramp. You could add teams. You're not going to lose teams at this point. But is what it is. St. George Ute, Randy Riding. The death of the Pac-12 was an inevitable slow death that actually began when they denied entry to Texas way back when. I agree. They have been a joke administratively for decades. And I said in 2014, and Wilner absolutely pounded me when I said it. I actually said that the Pac-12 was an option for Texas and BYU, and that BYU wanted to start a new conference. They wanted to start a new thing, and that they had spoken to other unhappy entities. And I said at the time, and nobody believed me, BYU in Texas to the Pac-12, and John Wilner lost his mind on me. Was like, you don't know, this guy's a loser. Okay. How did that work out? Oh, that's right. Yeah. They said no to Texas and BYU. So, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Dumbest move by the Pac and smartest move by the Big 12 is BYU. I read that one already. Yes. USVA guy. The school that looks the best in all of this is New Mexico. They are set to rule for years to come. Well, we'll see. We'll see about that. Kenneth Maynor. Americans should get UNLV and Air Force. They're not available. They're not available. We've got to stop with this thing where, and I'm not specifically talking about Kenneth, but we do this across college. But, well, this team's going to go over here. And why do you think all that stopped? Well, it stopped mainly because these grants of rights are rock solid. And you guys continue to tell me that, the ACC is melting down. What did I tell you about their grant of rights? Nobody's getting out of that grant of rights without paying us hundreds of millions of dollars. And what came to fruition? Nobody's getting out of the ACC grant of rights without paying hundreds of millions of dollars. They're bulletproof, man. They are bulletproof. They are so difficult to unwind. So difficult to unwind. I don't even know how you would begin that process. You don't have the funds. Although I guess the Pac-12 does sue people all the time. I don't even know how you would start that process.
Yeah.
And do you really think Memphis is going to be on board spending lawyer fees on any of this? Because Memphis is the one that is really being damaged in the American at this point. Like it is. I like if you look at Memphis, what is there to hang on to basketball wise in the American? Memphis. That's it. And if you're not making money in basketball, you are dying. And there's nobody in the American that helps bolster or boost, or Memphis is on its own in basketball. And until that changes, and this is why I say about the Pac-12, you got to put 4 or 5 teams and that's not going to happen.
Right.
But you need a good part of your roster in the Pac-12 in the NCAA tournament. And I know, well, Monty is a fat Mormon. That might be true. Joey, and I are Joey Smith and I, anyway, the point is, BYU is the biggest loss in the history of the Pac-12. You looking down your nose and shunning BYU was absolutely a catastrophically lethal decision. You could have added Texas, Oak State from the Big 12, like all these mistakes you made. You at one point could have added Texas, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, and BYU, and you said no. And really what had happened was, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
USC was going to the Big Ten. So USC torpedoed it. Huge mistake. Huge mistake. ACC is tick-tocking away before teams leave. They'll just wait till it's cheaper. I would agree with that. The mayor of Montytown, Jeremy Bolton. Any day now, Utah Tech gets the SEC invite. Boy, it's funny you bring up Utah Tech. The political climate in this state right now is impossible to get anything done unless you are Ryan Smith and your buddies on the Salt Lake board.
Yep.
Utah Tech, we joke about this because I said Utah Tech is a juggernaut in waiting. They have facilities, they have money, they have athletes, and they just can't get anything done moving forward. And the frustration level of the community around Utah Tech is significant because they just can't get financial funding and the required support at the state level to do the things they want to do. And it's absolutely, because if you know anything about Utah Tech, they've changed their name and they've tried to be this, and they were Dixie State, and that was too bad. And they've made all these moves, their facility upgrades, like they've done a bunch of really good stuff, and they are just crippled by politics. Utah's a great state until you need to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Until you need to open a business, until you need to, unless you are LDS and unless you have friends in high places, you will do nothing. Except build houses that absolutely crush the water table.
Yeah.
Then you can do that. But it's so funny you joke about Utah Tech. There is some real frustration in the GZ about that. Real. The fact that the Pac-12 isn't renaming itself as the Pac-8 is almost a self-own over the fact that they couldn't get more teams to join the 12. Yeah. This is a catastrophe for the Pac-12.
Yeah. Because no one's buying it. That's why they're at 8. No one's buying it. So, when you want to play with, when you want to base the rebuild on Boise State, you're kind of setting the bar there, right? I'm telling you that was their single biggest mistake just from the get. Hey, we're going to rebuild the Pac-12 and our base is Boise State.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, with all due respect to Boise State, I just think that they've put a glass ceiling on themselves, and you're not even able to go out and, contend or compete. To like, you'll get laughed out of that room if you were to go to any of the prior members. I mean, shouldn't the goal have been like, like if you were going to think about rebuilding this conference, that conversation needed to happen the moment that you knew that your members were leaving. Like,
I would
you
agree.
Needed to,
yes,
like that would have had to have happened then. So, yeah,
and I just don't know how you at this point fix it, because that's right. And much to Marcus has been dead on with this Pac-12 thing from the jump. Television networks and TV entities are tired of being ATM machines for conferences. And it's very interesting. Marcus has always advocated to me that the Big Ten TV deal was bad for conferences across the country. Because you look at the TV deal in the Big Ten, you're losing money on that from the television side of it. You're not going to make your projected revenue goals on that. And now with the changing face of TV and the changing face of college athletics, you really need the ability as a TV network. If you're Fox, who's got the Big Ten? Fox, CBS, like you need NBC, you need the ability to match make. And that is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking now. Because when you look at USC and Notre Dame, you know how pissed NBC is that USC and Notre Dame are not playing? Like, that is a huge loss for NBC. A huge loss for NBC. And they know it. And losing that money and the inability to match make like that, a big game in the middle of the season, that's a big loss. That's multi-million viewers you lost. And now you replace that game, if you're NBC, with BYU. So it mitigates that loss. It doesn't recover the USC rivalry. That's the issue in college sports now, is the TV networks have paid for something that they're no longer getting, because they're not getting the ability to create those made-for-TV matchups that bring them big sponsor dollars, that bring them big viewer dollars. And they're already in a position where right now, and we have a non-sports story that we're going to talk about today that I guess we can integrate into this now. Do you guys understand that a record low number of Americans are watching TV? Let that sink in. Nobody anymore. Like, local news is a great example of this. Nobody is flipping on the TV to see what, like, now I live in Seattle, King 5 News has to say tonight. Nobody's doing that. What they're doing is they're binge watching. Like, we're in season 6 of The Good Wife. And what did my wife say to me last night? Now we got to get through the end of it. Yeah. Now it looks like Kalinda Sharma is going to get whacked. Right? Like, but nobody is. Last night, the Blackhawks game is on. I have to go to the ESPN app and figure out where it's on TV. Thankfully, it was on ESPN Plus. Flipped over to ESPN Plus, turned it on. Nobody's just turning on the TV and flipping around. You talked about canceling YouTube TV. Yeah. I think I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Because what do I watch YouTube TV for? Sports. I'm getting the MLB package. I am getting, like, the Cock with Chelsea Football Club. I watch it through Peacock and Paramount for the Champions League. Right? I don't need YouTube TV to watch college basketball. I have Paramount Plus for the NCAA tournament. We don't watch TV as a society anymore.
Yeah. Well,
think about that.
I also think that, I just think that, again, the cell phone is where it's at, dude. Like, I think it's like 73. I was looking yesterday. I think like 73% of our viewership is on a cell phone. Right now, we still have 30% of people that watch the show on a TV, which is outstanding, and we've seen that before. But I just, my point is that people are on the go, they're working, they're doing things, and I think one thing that doesn't get talked about amongst all the economic conversations is that when things get more expensive, that means that we have to work more, which means we're not just sitting at home, thinking about the meaning of life while Nancy tells us the weather from our local news station.
That's
like,
right.
It's just not there. And I have to say, as someone who works a lot, my biggest motivations right now is figuring out how I can lift more weights, not when I'm going to watch the news. Like, I'm trying to figure out like how I can optimize my days better, to become a more productive person.
Yeah.
Not figuring out like, hey, well, what does this person have to say, or that person? Like, I get my daily digest of Donnie spewing BS on Twitter. I get the Epstein file dump. I get the news that I care about, right? And it's because I have this little computer that hangs out in my pocket all day. Like that's the difference. And it's just not what it used to be, because the age of the local news was reserved for Gen Xers coming up. That time shifted when cell phones got introduced. And I just think that it's like we need to graduate and stop being surprised. Like, if you're surprised that people aren't watching as much TV, you need to stop being surprised.
And I would remind you, you probably did not hear it this week, but ESPN's acquisition of NFL media properties was approved.
Yeah.
And now you're going to see how like the ability for me to just pay for Chicago Bears games. That's coming. That is coming to the ESPN app. Yeah. You can just mark that down.
Yeah, and I've loved, I got to be honest, I was skeptical of the DTC thing from ESPN, but I've loved it.
Direct to Cock?
Direct to Cock has been great. I think that it's made the vein in my neck bulge when I'm watching hole-in-ones, and I'm watching college basketball, and I've got the NHL available to me. Like, I've got everything that I need right there. And that's the point, is that it's not about there's not enough calling us to the TV. It's flipped now. We are going to the TV when we feel like it, when there's something that interests us as an individual. And that to me is the biggest difference. There's not, I really dread, like, when I turn on YouTube TV, there's a lot of times lately where I'll just do a 5-minute flip around of all the news channels. I'll start with NBC, and then I'll inevitably flip through Fox and CNN, and that, like, I'll just flip through all of them just to see the spin on the same story. And I just think it's just not, I don't find myself having fun doing that. I find myself, what I find myself having fun doing? I find myself having fun doing my primary activity, whatever that is in the moment, whether that's work or golf or whatever, and then having that thing on in the background. That's my thing. That's how I digest it. That's typically what I do. And then at night, because of the show and the work we do, at night, like last night, I'm watching SVU through the Peacock app on the TV, and we're
the Cock is pretty good, dude. Peacock is pretty good.
It is. It's a smooth. The thing I will give Peacock credit for, it runs smoothly on the TV. Some apps do not run as smoothly as others. Peacock runs smoothly. Paramount Plus, one of my favorite apps, has a bunch of shows that I like, has a bunch of shows that I watch, but it's clunky. It takes forever to load up. Like, even then when it's open, you still got to wait. And like, it just, so I do, the Peacock has definitely garnered my attention more, but I just think that if people are telling you they are surprised somehow at this shift to the cell phone or whatever, I just think that they're living, quite frankly, 25 years ago at this point.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. And even local news has cut back on staff. Anchor person does the sports news now. Well, because they're all using YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, if you go to your local news channel, and you look at what they're putting out, they're doing a lot of social media. They're doing a lot of YouTube. And it's why we're here. Again, there was a major change in Salt Lake radio recently.
Oh, there was.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Who are you going to call? Right? Like, yeah, big change. But what happens? They all want to know, well, what can we do? We want to integrate you. Like, Dude, I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
Yeah.
it's no longer a question of.
If I was, let me put it this way: if I was running a radio station in any market, it's not unique to Salt Lake, but just any market, my objective would not be the radio station. The radio station is one piece, and you wanna talk about Jim Rome? I think he deserves a lot of credit for what he's done over the last 2 years with his show. He has gone from being a old radio head who did the same thing over and over for 25 years and made a living on it, to his credit, right? He
Mhm.
was consistent, did the same thing. He has now gone from that to radio being just one piece and not even the nicest piece, right? But he's now streaming his show. He's on free TV. I mean, he's done all these different things. And that's what, to me, it requires if you want to keep winning. And that's what radio is not doing. If you're a local radio station, how have you not hired an SEO person? How have you not hired a person to handle all of your, like, you should have, if I had a radio station, I'd have one person who handles like the content, and then I'd have another person who handles the tech side of that, like all the cutting, all the production of it. Like, you have to invest in those things to keep capturing people on their phone. But again, we wake up one day and we're just surprised when it's like, oh man, dude, our monthly ratings book isn't what it used to be. You want to know why that is? Because the monthly rating book flipped over to digital and flipped over to YouTube. And frankly, it's not really all that competitive anymore.
No, Kenneth Maynor, I wish we could just pay a la carte for teams we want to watch. I'd pay through my college team's app just to watch all their games. Yeah, the problem is you're never going to get that at the college level, or at least not soon, because
what
those
college do you want
contracts.
to watch? Like, who do you
Well,
wanna
like
watch?
if you pick Notre Dame, for instance, Notre Dame is an independent. We get to do that.
Mhm.
I watch Notre Dame sports on Peacock all the time. The problem is if you're pick your poison, if you're BYU, Utah, Alabama, whoever, why can't you do that? Well, because if you're in the Big Ten, you have deals across multiple platforms. So who are you going to pay? If you're the Chicago Bears, you don't have deals across multiple platforms. NFL Media is now owned by ESPN. If you're Notre Dame, you're not across multiple platforms. Your product is on NBC, right? That's why you're able to do that with Major League Baseball. I can pay to watch Cubs games. The Blackhawks on ESPN. Right? That's where college is kind of handicapped. And you need a college football red zone. You need a red zone. And I'm very curious to see, by the way, what happens with red zone now that ESPN owns it. You know, I don't know what A2M means. DTC greater than A2M. No clue what that means. To Jake's point, I work EMS and just watch stuff on my phone. I haven't paid for cable since 2015, since I'm rarely home, just sitting around. There you go. Me too. Me too. You can watch the majority of college football games for free on YouTube. NFL does a killer job of blocking all games on YouTube, but college football is not dedicated to stop their content on YouTube.
Yeah, but I don't think, Mike, you're not wrong. I'm not even disagreeing with you about that. But I don't think that the average Joe or like the majority of sports fans are looking for it to be free. I don't think that that's the thing. I don't think people, like, I know that there's a lot there. Obviously, there are people who want it to be free, but I think the majority, the average Joe, corporate bro who golfs and like, you know, who's kind of just doing life, I don't think that the motivation is I want it for free. I think the motivation is like, hey, I would really like to just have access to what I'm interested in, and I'm willing to pay $3.99 a month or $12.99 a month to, you know, to do that. And that's what I think is really interesting. And I think that ESPN saw that and recognized that pretty early on. And that's why they've done what they've done. And I also think it's why the UFC went to Paramount Plus, because the UFC said, well, hey, like, we don't want people to have to pay to see our best stuff. We want them to just pay the subscription fee. We'll take a cut by adding value to Paramount. And that, so everyone's shifting to that.
I think it's, yeah. I don't know what the future of TV is. I'm sitting here running through that in my head. I don't know what the future of TV is. Jake is totally right. The smart radio stations, especially the sports ones that don't have a deal with music, rights are basically live streaming their entire day as podcasts on YouTube. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
And again, you guys won't believe us. Who started that? We were one of the pioneers in that back in our sports radio days. And now they're all doing it. Matt Nagy being hired by the Giants as their OC. That's been a fait accompli. Him and John Harbaugh. One scumbag's the same as the other scumbag. But yeah, Matt Nagy, it's going to be interesting. Why? How much blame should Matt Nagy get for the decline of Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs? I think a lot. There's a reason they're bringing Bieniemy back.
Well, I think that Nagy deserves some of that. I think that the roster is the issue. It's pretty clear that when they had the right butts in the right seats on the bus, they were a pretty damn good team. And then you lost some guys. Tyreek Hill did what he did. Travis has declined. Like, you start losing offensive weapons, and all of a sudden you're not quite the same team. And all of a sudden we're having to try to extend Xavier Worthy to be more than he is too early on in his career. And so you're just not able to overcome. I mean, look, I like Patrick Mahomes. I think he's the best quarterback in the league. But again, you're talking about him just making chicken salad every week, and that's not good enough. So yeah, I do think there's something to Matt Nagy, but I think the relationship between Bieniemy and Andy Reid was one that got contentious before because Bieniemy wanted to take a run at being a head coach, and that didn't quite work out. So I think now what you're going to see is Bieniemy's going to come back. They've put that band back together. You will then see the front office go to work and get Patrick more weapons, and they will be back in the Super Bowl inside of 2 seasons. I have no doubt about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think that Matt Nagy, God, as a traumatized Bears fan, Matt Nagy was a disaster. A disaster. It was absolutely a disaster. Yeah. And I blame him for the decline of the Chiefs. We'll see if Eric Bieniemy being back there, because he's back in Kansas City. We'll see what happens. I enjoy watching Mammoth games. I pay $69 a year and watch them all on SCG Plus app. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. We shall see, right? I mean, that I just don't know what the future of sports television is. That's my biggest question. How much bullshit are we all willing to put up with to watch sports on TV?
A lot right now. A lot.
And we do. I hate the way we watch TV. I cannot stand the way we watch TV.
And what's worse is all the athletes I grew up with as a kid are now retiring or gone, which sucks.
Well, it is this LeBron thing. I think this LeBron thing is the perfect example of what's wrong with sports. I'm a Laker fan, and I'm tuned out. And now they're talking about trading him before Thursday's deadline.
They should.
That he and the Lakers agree that it's time to move on.
Yep.
I say amen to that.
I'm telling you, they are going to trade him to the Cavs, and he is going to end his career as a Cleveland Cavalier, which I understand from his side of it. I'm not sure I understand it for the Cavaliers side of it. I think that.
Well, he makes them a significantly better team.
Yes,
I think. Lakers, the problem is the Lakers don't work without Austin Reeves. They don't. The Lakers with LeBron and Luka play incredibly slow, methodical basketball. And that's why they're losing. The Cavs already run up and down the floor with their hair on fire. LeBron's not slowing that train down.
Yeah, and he can help facilitate that.
I think it's much more likely Giannis ends up in Golden State, and and this is what will bring the NBA back to prominence. Giannis ends up at Golden State, LeBron ends up in Cleveland. I could see that happening. Those two major trades will bring people back to the NBA. It would bring me back to the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now having said that, there's talk of a 3-way deal with Milwaukee, Cleveland, and the Lakers that would net Giannis to the Lakers, which is what I think a lot of people want. He wants.
That's what I would prefer.
I think that could be massive. If LeBron and Antetokounmpo are traded in the same deal, that could be massive.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, the for so many seasons, the hesitancy to work with the Lakers on deals has been there. But on something like this, when you're trading LeBron, I think that really opens a lot of doors because people understand, okay, well, that's a high value contract. We can move some assets. We can make some things happen because of the dollars here. Let's come to the table here and see what we're looking for,
Yeah, that'd be huge. Muldoon, I know you support Chelsea Football Club. Thank you. But European soccer costs serious money to watch weekly. Not for me. I get it on Peacock and Paramount, which I get a stipend from Amex for. So, yeah. Let's face it, a huge amount of people watch sports for free through various apps, and I think it should be a felony, and you should be put in jail if you get caught. I think if you get caught using a VPN to steal content, I just have very little respect for that. I think you are stealing somebody's creative work, and it's not right. I really have very little respect for it. People want to be able to take their sports with them wherever they go. Streaming is the future. Streaming's the now. Streaming is the now. We were this close to an app for all of sports on one app, and it fell apart. So we'll see. Does the NBA do a sign and retire deal like the NFL where they sign but do not play? You can, but that wouldn't make a lot of sense for LeBron. I think if you're going to trade LeBron, he's going to go and try and win a championship. So we'll see. Go Seahawks. When did you become a Seahawks fan? Do you hate the Patriots? The Super Bowl, who do you cheer for? Go Seahawks. I hate the Patriots, so probably the Seahawks. Sam Darnold's a good dude. I'd like to see him win. But I use a VPN to watch Monty Show for free, and you will never put me in jail for it. Well, it's YouTube. It's already free. It just is what it is. The big news today, obviously, Bob Kraft not voted into the Hall of Fame, according to ESPN. That's a big deal today. The Mountain Wests will announce their TV distribution deal today. And it is going to be remarkably similar to what the Pac-12 got. And that has caused the lack of revenue running through the Pac-12 deal has caused quite a bit of frustration inside the Pac-12. That's a story to keep your eye on. Here's another one, and I'm curious what you guys think of this. Because I think BYU has largely lived outside of the chaos of the transfer portal, with some small exceptions. You really have not had a big name leave BYU player-wise. Their retention
was really the only one.
Well, but like Keelan Marion, and Crew, those guys are superfluous.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't had a massive contributor like Bear Bachmeier.
Yeah.
Jump in the portal and lead BYU. Jake, do you believe that it's possible? Because we're starting to hear, stories being told that Bear Bachmeier was offered a significant amount of money to jump into the portal and chose not to do it. Do you believe that BYU should be worried about Bear Bachmeier leaving?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't know that they need to be worried about him leaving. I think that the reason that BYU hasn't had as much trouble with the portal as other schools have had is because when you go to play at BYU, you inherently are agreeing to certain stipulations and lifestyle setup. And so kids are there's more of how should we call it, an upfront contract, if you will. Like, hey, if you want to play here, you need to understand this is what you're agreeing to, right? Like you need to be cool with this stuff. We're not like we're not, for better or for worse, we're not just another school or option to you from a lifestyle standpoint. And so then what I think happens is you say yes to that, you get brought in, and a lot of kids wind up really liking it because it's simpler and it's more structured. And so then there's more of this commitment to BYU. and the culture and the style there. And so for Bear, look, I think that Bear is a talented quarterback. I think that he did a great job this year making chicken salad out of what was a really quite frankly a very precarious situation to be in with what happened to Retzloff and everything. So I mean, is the risk high? I wouldn't say that it's high. Clearly, it's possible for him to get tampered with or poached into the portal. But I think for BYU, it's much more of a thing where it's like, all right, this is why we needed to retain Kalani. This, even though we lost Jay Hill, we're still in a really good place. Like the program is in a strong place from a coaching standpoint, which I also think lends itself to him staying there. But I also think it needs to be mentioned that this offseason of development, it has to hit for Bear. Like if Bear,
yes, it does.
If Bear wants to ever be regarded as an elite quarterback or ever want to, have his BYU team in the CFP, he has to level up. He has to improve. And maybe for him, it'll be a simple process, right? Kind of, getting his legs under him more and fixing that quirk in his mechanics. Maybe that'll be simpler for him than it is for other guys because of who he has access to with PAC and everything like that. So maybe that hits, but I don't think you're going to run into danger in terms of him leaving or getting offers until he puts it on tape that he can outthrow a defense or mentally beat a defense, because he didn't do, in my opinion, he didn't do either of those two things last year. Again, circumstances, I get it. First year, understand, totally get it. But he hasn't done that yet. But once he does do that, I think his value will build.
I think there's a couple of factors at play. One, I totally agree. This year he was never going to leave BYU. Right now, there just is no reason for him to do that. I think this offseason, I've already heard that he's had a monster offseason, even though he can't throw T-shirts very far into the stands, which I think we saw on full display. Bear is busting his ass to become a better quarterback and the best quarterback that he can be. I expect Bear Bachmeier to be a Heisman Trophy candidate this coming season. I expect him to leap that much. From what I understand, he's putting just as much work into growing mentally and understanding and being a student of defense, which is a major problem because as now, again, good old Monty.
Hey, Monty.
He was not reading defenses last year. He was reading his wide receivers. And I think we've seen guys, Fernando Mendoza has done that for Indiana this past season at a very high level. But I think when you start seeing the way that Bear Bachmeier profiles, that's when I would be worried if I were BYU, because there is a question in I think it's a good question. What is the ceiling for BYU football? Can they reasonably expect to compete for a national championship every year? No. I think you have watched BYU for 2 straight years be worthy of a college football playoff spot. Without question, they were worthy this past season. And they got left on the outside looking in. And they lost to the only team that mattered, Texas Tech. Not once, but twice, and looked bad doing it. And Bear specifically looked bad doing it. But can you expect BYU to be given a spot in the college football playoff, even if they earn it? If they're not undefeated, I think all bets are off. I think all bets are off. And if that continues, because again, I expect Bear Bachmeier to be the best quarterback in the Big 12 this year. My expectation is that he will significantly outperform, because I think Sorsby is going to be very, very much the same guy we've known him to be. I'm not even sure who else would be in the conversation. I don't know what, if you start looking at the quarterbacks in the Big 12, Bear Bachmeier should be significantly better than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're the best quarterback in the Big 12, you're going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country. And I think it is it is going to be very interesting to see, does he develop this offseason? How much does he develop? And will he compete with CJ Carr for a Heisman Trophy? If the answer is yes, I think there is a very good chance that BYU is in position to go to the college football playoff. But you know what I'm going to say? Unless they go undefeated, I think there's real questions about whether they would make it in. And I think that's asking an awful lot. Their schedule is very difficult, obviously, with Tech and Notre Dame. But at some point, you have to beat the very best teams you face. And this is the BYU basketball conundrum right now.
That game last night, though, dude.
How about Tech? Did you guys watch Texas Tech and Kansas last night?
Bro.
I watched parts of it. And I think it is going to be very interesting to see. Like, Kansas is legitimately good. Darren Peterson's the best player in the country. That win over Texas Tech last night. But here and there, if BYU is a one-loss team, and let's say that one loss is to Notre Dame, they rightfully should be in the college football playoff. I can't say with all certainty they will be. If Bear Bachmeier is as good as I think he's going to be, and he dominates, and he's in New York as a finalist for the Heisman Trophy, and they don't get into the college football playoff, he will leave. He is not Mormon. He is not a member of the church. Keep that in mind. His brother is not an elite player. They can transfer together. Bear Bachmeier, I think, would not do that willingly. And I think it would take an enormous situation to make that happen. But I think if you're a BYU fan and you think that lifestyle and the church and you think that's going to keep Bear Bachmeier in Provo, you have not been paying attention to college football. Because they will come for him. Because he is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in college football. That pays a premium.
Facts.
That brings money.
Yeah, and I don't know if you're BYU, what you're going to do to retain him. It's going to take a lot of money, which, again, BYU's shown the willingness to spend, but, you know, obviously everyone has their limitations.
Yeah. Now you're talking, an all sports app would definitely be on my must-have list. I would agree with that. Jake left, but that was more BYU than Jake. Yeah. Jake went to Eugene to be at Oregon because Jake's an Oregon fan.
Pack everything up. We're out of here.
Oh, you met Jake Retzloff. Yeah, that was a sex thing. Yeah. Dipped his Manischewitz in the wrong sauce, brother, is what it is. Brother. Is Bear a Mormon? He is not. In fact, he is a Catholic. So, K. Nurin, yes, love BYU football. Should be 11-1 again in the playoff. Bear loves BYU. Well, that's all great that Bear loves BYU. But if he can't compete for a national championship at BYU, what are we even playing the game for?
Brother.
You know how hard it is to go undefeated in a college football season? Shouty. Hey, Shouty. Arch Manning apparently is having a renaissance. Have you guys seen the Arch Manning training videos? He looks like a monster already. It's only February 3rd, and he looks like a different physical human being. It's amazing. Bear came to BYU because of the lifestyle. That's what they all say, right? Well, his faith is so strong in his soul. Jesus Christ spoke to Bear Bachmeier deep within his womb. And he said, Bear, you will go to BYU for the rest of your life, boy.
Knock on wood if you're with me.
You know. Jake is for Dan Lanning. Jake is a Dan Lanning fan.
Dick Hammer.
Truth. As your throat recovered, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, clearly my vocal cords are fine today.
Do you buy into this right here? Because Jake was all like, "Oh, Monty."
Oh, hey, Monty. Did you see that ESPN finally put BYU in the college football playoff? They've done it. They've done it. ESPYU is finally in the college football playoff, Monty. Now, they're not, the playoffs over, so I guess it's kind of hollow, but they in there way too early, which is a problem I know you have, way too early. Yeah. 3 seconds of greatness, bud. Anyway, the point is, listen. BYESPNU. They're finally in the college football playoff. It's something we as BYU fans have waited for many, many years. And oh, don't take it down so fast. Oh yeah. Jake Clifton, Zach Yuma, Moochie Wachadomi.
Should probably stop. How about BYU getting into the 11th spot in ESPN's way too early? So let me get this right. They're returning everybody. They've massively improved the coaching staff. Done a great job replacing Jay Hill. And they're only 11th?
It's a Big 12!
They're only 11th.
Yes.
I do not understand.
You're out of your freaking mind.
Walker Lyons alone should raise the bar. Right? And you start looking at guys like Cade Ulave, Jake Clifton, they've had a really good offseason. And again, I think Bear Bachmeier's development is going to be massive. And you only have them in 11th. And this is my point, BYU fan. Don't you have to be perfect?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you have to be perfect?
Undefeated, without a doubt, you're a CFP team. There cannot be even an ounce of doubt.
That's my point.
But yeah, BYU finally made the college football playoff. BYU fan, today is a day to rejoice. In 2026, you're in right now. So good luck.
BYU's going to win the Notre Dame game. Okay, they better. Are BYU fans still pulling for the Michigan fan sports guy? Oh, Provo Dave.
Oh, Provo Dave. Oh, let me show you my chocolate cougar tail, big boy.
He has our full respect.
Oh, look, it's Dave Portnoy. Oh, he hates women, allegedly. And
BYU
stuff.
Dave.
Oh, Provo Dave.
Yeah.
Oh, David. You leave those scumbags at Michigan and you come to Provo. We have got the best selection of decaffeinated beverages. I will tell you something right now. The crumble cookies flow like moisture in the morning dew.
I have no idea what flowing moisture in the morning dew is.
But Provo Dave,
God, just like that.
Oh, Dave, you have not seen cougar tail until you've seen the tail of the cougar here in Provo. Oh, David. Pizza. Oh, Provo Dave, we've got a slice for you. Oh, yeah.
Slack water this.
Oh, Dave.
Oh, Dave, let me slack your water, boy.
His cock.
Anyway. Rex Kwando. Yes, thank you. I got some. Maybe we do you guys know that tomorrow is Big Daddy Magic's birthday. Are we going to raise money for Big Daddy Magic tomorrow?
No, we're gonna Rob Kraft that ass. Hell no.
We're gonna get him a rub and tug.
Oh yeah, I got a birthday gift for him. Let me tell you something, boys. Have you been to Sugar House? Whole new meeting now, the Sugar House.
Oh my God, dude.
Big Daddy Magic sent me videos yesterday.
Player hater. Stop pissing on AJ DeBanza. You're dead. Remember, Stuart Henderson will be a better NBA player than Victor Wembanyama. You said that.
If you hold the ball in basketball, you're dead.
You do better. You got that? instead of rotating it, and it's such, he knows he needed to show out in that game, and he didn't. I mean, he was reading the blind kids. Thank you very much. Right, I can only imagine. But
dude,
he holds the ball.
He's listening to the show.
Player hater.
Live reaction.
Stop pissing on AJ the Benzer.
Oh.
What's up, motherfuckers?
Dude, that is incredible.
Wait, what happened? Hold on.
Bro, he's literally defending Buddy while it's on in the background.
Have him dropping. No, AJ the Benzer is the #1 draft pick. That AJ the Benzer is dropping. Nope, he's rising. I think it's awfully difficult to argue with that. You know? It's the American way to argue with communism. Why you would have AJ? This is Russian hackers. You're not taking them #1. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. When you start looking at what a real mock draft could look like. AJ's a real NBA player. I think it is. I think it's going to be really tough. No, it's not. AJ,
who breathes more, him or Anthony Weaver?
A lot of how this draft goes. We saw yesterday.
Big Daddy Magic outdid himself. Should we, you guys? Should we raise money? Let's just get Big Daddy Magic an Amazon gift card from the Monty Show. He's not going to buy books about pedophile priests with it, so we feel safer, right?
I'm going to get medieval on your ass.
That way he can't. It's a birthday. Let's at least send him a birthday gift. Come on. You know. Jeremy Bolton, no. The real awkward guy. I'll give $250 towards the Bills red long sleeve he wants. Okay,
101.
I would do that. Yes, screw that petty arse Jake. Raise some funds for BDM. The dude is a magical part of the show, even outshining James. I mean, you guys, do we raise money for Big Daddy Magic? Magic, as he says. I mean, his birthday is tomorrow. Do we do nothing? I mean, are we doing nothing? We're not gonna, you know, we're not willing to you know, we're not willing to do what needs to be done.
Are you calling him right now?
I would never do that.
Does he answer?
Oh, wait. Does he answer?
There you go. There you go. Yep. Nah, he's still sleeping, dude. Bro, there's no chance this guy's awake right now.
You don't think there's any chance he's awake?
No chance, dude. Absolutely not. No chance. Absolutely not.
Calling him for his birthday.
Nope, no chance.
He's not going to answer.
Yeah, bro is off in the slurp Josh Allen dream, I'm sure.
All right, well, I tried Big Daddy Magic. I tried, you know,
I just can't get past the fact that it's like, I understand he sends us videos, but we didn't ask him to, right?
Right, but
like,
that's what makes it amazing. That's what makes it amazing. You know, hard no on the BDM fundraiser. Wow, okay. Yeah, I'm not saying send him cash that he'll smoke through. I'm not saying that. Could we get a live call in from BDM? I tried. Let me pull the city council and we'll decide. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I like how everyone gets the business on the Monty Show. P4 to G5, everyone except the Mountain West Fox Gloria. Okay. I think she's done a good job.
Bro, you need to figure out how to make your comments make more sense, dude. I'm not really sure what you're getting at here.
So he's saying that I don't criticize her. Okay. Let's reach out to Growcock and have him donate, dude.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Are we really just not going to give Big Daddy Magic a birthday gift? I feel like this is not the right thing to do. He brings so much. Joy's probably not the word, but
tampering.
He brings tampering to the show.
301.
You know. But I don't understand like this. No.
There's tampering and then there's blatant tampering.
Right? Like you guys, should we get Big Daddy Magic a birthday gift? No. He makes you laugh.
No.
I'm advocating for the guy. See, again, no.
Men's parade.
We need
Men's
a parade for Big Daddy Magic.
Yeah, I don't know, man. If you really, it's the Monty Show. If you want to send him one, all right.
Okay.
You know,
it's been a while since we did a fundraiser.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Should we have a BDM roast? And that'll raise the money so we can send him an Amazon gift card?
A roast.
Probably not.
No. Probably not. I mean, I would send him an Amazon gift card. You know, if you guys want to, what is even, let me see if I can find, he needs, I think he said a 3XL Buffalo.
Mike, send him a Taco Bell gift card.
Could send him a Taco Bell gift card. That's always great content, right? Buffalo Bills, let's say Josh Allen jersey. $129.
Bruh.
Right? That's not that. Is that too much money?
Yeah, dude, we don't spend $129 on anyone on this show.
I agree.
So,
but it's Big Daddy Magic. It's once a year. Okay. Look, I've put it out, and you know.
Look, dude, if you want to send him something, you just tell me what we're gonna send.
Yeah, do it on your own, fat ass.
You just tell me what we're gonna send him, and you know.
Hey, player!
I don't disagree. The guy contributes, but if we set a precedent where we're sending birthday gifts to everyone who contributes, now all of a sudden our pockets get a little light.
But
you know
it's
what I mean?
not a precedent. It's not a precedent. This is Big Daddy Magic. I feel like he's in a different zip code. Right?
Okay.
I mean, what about a retro Josh? Because there is a really good. I hate to support anything that is fanatics, but there's a really good, like that Josh Allen t-shirt that everybody had with the picture of him on it. And, you know, I you guys are such haters.
Jeremy. Yeah, my Telluride needs fire protection and my birthday's coming up.
Come on. I look forward to BDM videos.
So do
They're
I.
hilarious.
His videos are funny. I agree.
My wife says, no, we're not sending BDM anything. She said, Mrs. Monty says Big Daddy Magic doesn't deserve anything.
And I'll see you in Valhalla.
She didn't say that. I'm just trying to bait her into appearing on the show. You know. All right. I mean, I guess I'll do it on my own. I mean, I feel bad not giving the guy a birthday gift at all. It feels
Jake
like
is such a little wanker. Damn, man, it's BDM. He and James are on a different level. Okay, well, look, dude, if you want to reach into your pocket and you want to support, dude, why don't you do that? Why don't you send
I'm not
us?
reaching into my pocket.
Why don't you go ahead and make this a paid comment, and I'll take your donation and I'll get him a shirt. How about that? Since I'm such a little,
you're a bad person, Jake.
I'm a bad person and I'm terrible because I'm not willing to send everybody and their mom a birthday gift, why don't you pay for it since you're so for it? How about that? And then from there, my good deed will be making sure it's facilitated. Because that's how this works. When we do this, then I gotta, after the show, then I gotta get his credentials and then I gotta run him down and find his address. And it's a process. Like, stuff doesn't magically get done. So
no, it doesn't.
Again, I love the guy, I appreciate the videos, but let's not beat around the bush here. I'm not so sure that it would be easy to get his address or he doesn't message me the way he messages you. So, it's like,
I can handle it.
Yeah.
I mean, what if we go Bill Belichick and get him a sleeveless? You could get him
as a guy who doesn't wear shirts very often, maybe sleeveless is the way to go.
You could get him a sleeveless hoodie. It's $65. It's a short sleeve hoodie for the Bills. Or we could get him an AJ DeBanza jersey, a Victor Wembanyama jersey.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. It sets a bad precedent, is what you're saying. You're saying it sets a bad precedent.
It just allows people to then be like, well, it's my birthday, Monty. You sent BDM a gift. What about me? you know, is it not enough of a gift that we play all his videos on the show and that we've made him what he is?
Muldoon's such a dick. Don't get him something he asked for. Get him something he'd hate. Oh, get him a Scoot Henderson jersey.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Get him
I
a
don't
Coop
know.
jersey.
Cooper flag, yeah. What about a Chicago Bulls Caruso jersey?
Yeah, right? You know.
Those were the days, man.
And listen, why don't you with him, why don't you take credit? Why don't you say that, you know, you fought for him and that it was me that was, you know.
Look at this guy. No, look at this guy right here. Please don't compare me to BDM. I have said I would compete for an Amazon card.
What do you mean don't compare you to BDM, dude? You're the guy. Okay, let's stop comparing you. You know what? Yeah, you've got like 10 burner accounts. BDM has one, and BDM's good enough that he doesn't even have to be in the comments section. He can do it on Instagram.
Well, and you guys both went turncoat, and you went to TCU and he went to BYU.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. The hey.
And yeah, but
it's iconic.
Hold on. It is a gift. Whoa. Hold on. Yeah, now you've got me on it. This is a gift. I've given BDM a gift over the years by putting multiple drops into our system here. Here's one. You know, let's see, where are, let's go. Okay, here we go.
Big Daddy
you got
Magic,
this one.
The big gun with the sweet tongue. This is your beloved Big Daddy Magic.
Like how many? Like, bro, you've got
he's
7
iconic.
drops. But this is my point. This is what I'm saying. I put in a ton of drops. We play his videos. Like, I don't know. I guess I just feel like for a sports talk show, that's your gift. You are a part of the show on almost a daily basis. I guess I don't feel an obligation to send you a gift because I think that's a gift. Like, do you understand how many people listen to this show, dude? Like, we just crossed 200,000 subs. Like, you've got, I mean, I'd have to go and look at how many people we have a month right now listening, but you're
millions.
Like, I mean, you're a star to how many people? That's a gift. We don't have to play your stuff. I'm sorry.
Is Big Daddy Magic bigger than the Super Soaker was?
Yes. Absolutely.
Oh, so Jeremy Bolton's out on it. Okay. And in all seriousness, as much of a jerk as Jeremy Bolton is, and he listen, you guys, Jeremy Bolton's a bad person. He's gonna wind up in a Costa Rican jail. Let's just be honest about it.
Hey, two holes.
If I can't even say bad things about Jeremy with a straight face. I agree. I agree with you guys. If Jeremy Bolton is like, yeah, dude, his gift for his birthday is that we talk about him on the show and you play, because I do play his videos.
Yeah, like every day.
And I do play his yeah, okay. God damn it.
I mean, listen, he's also saying, in all seriousness, I'll donate to BDM. So Jeremy doesn't want to buy him a gift, but he'll donate to his cause. So again, see, here's the deal. He's got to garner more support in the comments section. This is his age. This is as old as the show. Okay. Trying again.
I'm trying. Listen, dude, weed makes you sleep. Right?
Bro's in the upside down. I'm telling you, there's, I mean, it's got to be minus plus 25,000 that he answers.
You think, okay. I don't think
no
there's
way.
any chance he's up this early. There's no way.
No way, dude. Nope.
Although AJ didn't play last night, so he didn't have to stay up like forearm strengthening or anything.
No, that probably means he stayed up later because he was out in the streets,
Could be. I hope not. He claims he doesn't smoke weed anymore or drink alcohol.
Believe it when I see it, brother.
Yeah, he's not going to answer. Yeah, he says he doesn't drink alcohol anymore. So,
yeah, listen, dude, if he can garner enough support in the comments section to get a donation group together, we can use that money to get him a gift. But I just, I'm not.
The problem is if I don't give him a gift, it's going to be like, oh, you hate me. What did I ever do to you? Where's my
No,
Bill
no,
sweatshirt?
No, we don't hate you. Let me get this right. Bills lost. You know,
You lost that bet.
Yeah, like, come on.
You know.
I don't know. I don't know, man. Like,
I'm not giving them Taco Bell, which I still think is a legendary reference.
no, you're right, Monty. BDM brings shine to the show. No need for actual funds, but a gift card would be great, or just get him a Bills shirt he keeps wanting. $130, it's a one-off. I mean, really. Yeah, but you're missing the point here, bro. You're missing the point, dude. If I/we/the show spend $130 on a Bills shirt for BDM.
So is it the money? Do you want to spend less money? Because we can afford $130.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's the premise. It's not the 130. Then 130 becomes 260, becomes 1,000 when everybody and their mom wants us to send them something. And I just don't want to set that precedent. It's not that's not what it is, dude. It is, again, with all due respect, dude, it's a gift to be able to come onto the show and be like, you know, and be like, hey, yeah, like everyone knows my name. Everyone knows who I am. They see my videos. And again, I tend to agree with this point that I made. Major letdown. You're all about getting him a gift card, but you're not willing to donate. So sorry, dude. Like it ain't on me. This is on you. You guys wanted to get something, donate. And we'll get it for him.
I still think it's funny that TCU James was like, you don't compare me to Big Daddy Magic. Okay. Big Daddy Magic is probably the biggest star on the show, if not the one of the. Jake is big warm. I mean, big perm. It's all about principalities.
Shocking, James. You don't want me to compare you to BDM, but you agree with me on the BDM take. Shocking.
You cannot compete with Big Daddy Magic on gift cards.
Sorry, dude. It's different. Let me set you straight here, James. The comment section on this show is a cesspool of awesomeness. And
it is.
And
that's exactly.
And each person has their own reputation and style and genre.
Mm-hmm.
Yours is rectories and Honda shitboxes, and BDM's is being high and giving us his takes on basketball players and writing comments that maybe don't pan out correctly in the comment section.
You know what I don't understand about weed, though? How do you live with that smell? Like
you must just get used to it. You must get used to it.
It's all over the place.
Right, but James,
Seattle.
Here's the problem, dude. Here's the problem. You've sent videos before, but you haven't met the BDM bar. Like, his stuff is legitimately funny. Yours is
mainly
like
because he's naked. That's a big part of it. You know,
and he's high and like it's just this. It's a motif. There is no criteria to what's funny.
Criteria.
And not funny. It's again, it's Bob Kraft. You're either in or you're out, and right now you're out. So you need to overcome.
I think the other thing is you boycotted the show, James.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So now it's like you want us to give you gift cards. See, again, what I said was going to play out is quite literally playing out in front of us, and we haven't spent a dime. Oh, well, you guys are giving BDM this. I can make funny videos. I can do this. What about me?
And James can.
Okay,
I
James,
agree.
Listen, how long has it been since you sent us a video without us having to ask you to do it? How long? Months? Right? It's been a long time. So,
but it's not been nearly it's been a much shorter amount of time since you attacked us on Twitter and said I was a scumbag and Jake was your lover.
No.
That was just weeks ago.
Excellent point, Monty. Excellent point.
I might have exaggerated the lover part.
See, now, once again, James, I just want to point out, you found a way to put yourself in the middle of a conversation that had nothing to do with you. That's your brand, dude. That's your brand every time.
I don't dare try to compare myself to BDM. No way I could match that. Yeah, nobody wants to. Although you do these stupid Spartan races. Yeah, well, you know. Yeah, I miss Aaron Wilson. I miss Aaron Wilson. Daily.
Aaron Wilson holds the title of the greatest video ever sent into the show, dude.
Ever.
There's no question about it.
Ever.
Yeah, no question.
All right, we'll re-litigate this tomorrow morning because it is Big Daddy Magic Day on the show tomorrow.
But again, for anyone who's wondering, anybody is welcome to send us videos like BDM does. It's not unique to him. He doesn't have some special permission slip. But the truth is that he sends them enough, and he's built enough of a reputation and a brand on the show that now he's got credibility for us to play his videos, you know, during the show. So
I just popped my jaw. Like,
oh, that hurts, dude. I hate when I do that. Yeah, that doesn't feel good.
I need to go to the chiropractor. I got like neck issues.
Yeah, Delaric. Exactly, dude. Exactly, bro. Don't forget, James, also IPA guy and his 30 accounts.
No,
yeah, you've got like
fair,
100 burners, dude. I mean, come on.
Man, that hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, well. All right. Got to go. The Monty Show is always presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. Appreciate all of you being here every day. If you get into an accident, it's one of the worst days of your life. Go get the best at theadvocates.com, where you never pay out of pocket. No, friends. You don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. We'll have a full breakdown of the Pro Bowl. We probably won't. Tomorrow's Big Daddy Magic's birthday. You know, it's fine.
Expect another video.
Expect another video. As you were, thank you for watching the show. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.